with anyone. I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone, and I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, what's going on, people? We're going to give a little time for folks to load in. We're doing the call-in show tonight because I missed it yesterday. Had some things going on, and I wanted to talk to you guys because I kind of started this question on Sunday during my live stream, and I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to respond to some of the points that I made. So while we wait for the room to load up, what's going on, Darlene Hall? While we wait for the room to load up, I want to play some music and let the room load up. We're going to go over some of the stuff that we had talked about on Sunday, and so that way I can get you guys temperature on what you think about the responsibility that the cast members may hold. Now, I understand. Some of you guys may look at it and say, James, they don't owe us nothing. Everything they owe us, they gave us. They give it to us every Sunday. They don't owe us a damn thing, James. They did everything they're supposed to do contractually. They're okay. And to that, I wouldn't disagree. I think contractually, they're fine. I think that they did do what they said they were going to do. They let us follow them around and check them out. But the question I would have is, do they owe the audience members and the people who watch the show, the people they may have influenced, do they owe them anything more? And we'll get into it in a little bit. Let's let the room fill up for a little bit. We're going to play some music, and then we're going to jump right into it. Yeah, I have a question what day it is. I know yesterday I had my son had some things going on at school, so I had to take care of that business. You know, he's finishing up his academic career in high school, so I gotta make sure he makes the most of this last hurrah, if you will. So, because like I tell my kids all the time, man, like everybody's always in a rush, especially when it comes to kids. They're always in a rush to get out of high school. I can't wait to get out of high school. Okay, I can't wait till I'm an adult. And I try to tell them all the time, man, like being an adult is, for one, shit ain't cracked up. It ain't all it's cracked up to be. Two, it's not as much fun as you think it is. Like, yeah, you have the freedom and the rights and the ability to stay up late and do what you want to do. But you also have the responsibility that keeps you from staying up late, doing all the stuff that you want to do, because you got to make sure that you can get up and go to work. And in the same time, like at least now when you're in high school, you're in grade school, middle school, kindergarten, things like that, you know what your schedule is. You get up, you go Monday through Friday during the months of September all the way to June. And then you have 3 months off that you could do whatever you want to do. And then you have holidays, weekends. No matter what happens, it snow too hard. It look like it's going to snow hard. They tell you to take off. You get to stay home. Inclement weather. At school, they try to figure out what's fair. So you go in and complain that the teacher's not treating you fairly, not treating you like all the other students. And people actually listen to you. But then you graduate. You enter the real world. Now, all of a sudden, the weekends don't mean nothing, because if they need you to work the weekend, they want you to work the weekend. Then all of a sudden, it's not just limited to, Monday through Friday, 8, 9 o'clock until, 2, 3 o'clock. Now, all of a sudden, it's, Monday through Friday, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, something ridiculous. Or they want you to pull a double, or, you know what I mean? The holidays coming, your birthday's here. Oh, we don't give a damn about none of that. Oh, you think I'm treating you unfairly? I'm not sure. I have favoritism at the job. Too bad, so sad. Suck that shit up. So I never heard of Gar World. Never heard of Gar World. I'll look into it. Ooh, the jam said, I believe the cast members owe a clear explanation of their view due to their deceptive nature of their original presentation. Ooh, ooh. All right. Well, let me kick some music up. We're gonna let the room fill up a little bit more, and then we're gonna go. Ay ay ay, the jam, the jam. There we go.
Could be watching chefs burn pots in the kitchen or influencers fake fights for attention. Drama queens with crowns, but no conviction. But now you're here, my addiction. Could've clicked that prank, that mukbang feast, or streams of gamers slaying beats. But you're here with me, not scrolling free, not lost in streams or reality. You're here with me where you wanna be, out the algorithm, just you and me. Could be watching cats knock glasses down, or a dude trying to stunt, stressed as a clown. DIY hacks turn smiles to frowns, but you're vibing here, no fakes around sound. This ain't unboxing or ASMR, no clickbait titles, no rented cars. Realest channel in your repertoire. Stay tuned, superstar. But you're here with me, not scrolling free, not lost in streams or reality. You're here with me where you wanna be, out the algorithm, just you and me.
All right, all right. Just scrapping. Shout out to just scrapping. All right, so I think we ready to light the fires and kick the tires and get this show up on the road. All right, so put this. All right, so let me just give a little piece of what I'm thinking, and I'll allow you guys to call in. You can give me your perspective on what you think, because that's what I'm really curious about. Like, I already know what I think. So I want to hear what you guys have to say, what you guys think. Whether I'm maybe I'm being unfair. And I'm always concerned about that. Like, I just want to be fair and balanced when it comes to our description, our criticisms or observations of the whole Sister Wives universe. Okay, so here it is. When I think about the kind of in line with what DeJam had said, when the show first started, I'm under no illusion that Cody, Christine, Robin, Janelle, Mary, all of them were holding themselves out as examples of how you could live, not only how you could live polygamy, but the virtue of living polygamy, the virtue of this type of choice, this virtue of this type of lifestyle. Now, I say that with the full understanding that we could easily say they were influenced by the way they were raised, by their church dynamics, by their cultural experiences, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that that would be a fair criticism. However, we've watched them over the course of 20 seasons. We've watched their relationships fall apart. We've watched the inconsistencies, the unfairness, the injustice that these relationships have brought about. Now, if they're taking the positions that no, you guys have it wrong, come out and say that. Come out and be very clear about that. But as it stands right now, and this is just my opinion, my observation, the excuse of they don't know no better doesn't really hold water, specifically because each one of every cast member, with the exception perhaps of Robin, and I think you could make an argument that even she's included in this, but every cast member, Cody, Mary, Christine, and Janelle, have all taken to the social media sites, taken to platforms, taken to events and started to grow their brand. And they not only started to grow their brand in the form of sister wives or former wives or housemakers or homemakers, they started to grow their brand in the form of becoming thought leaders, people who are contributing intellectually to situations, relationships, and experiences of that nature. Uh, Janelle with her business Strive, Mary with Worthy Up, Christine with her business where she's now giving like advice on Instagram. Of course, Cody with Cameo. So you have a track record of these people who are going out of their own volition. And the only reason I excluded Robin was because she's limited herself to the Sister Wives platform, TLC's platform. She hasn't, gone out and started a social media site, a YouTube channel, or whatever the case may be. But these other folks have. And the second you start a channel and you start charging people for events, that breaches the terms and conditions of you being able to say that I was simply a victim of this thing, that I had no idea what was going on, I had no way of knowing what was happening, etc., etc., etc. I'm just lost in the woods. I'm a babe lost in the woods. No, you're not, because you are presenting yourself as a thought leader at that point. So that's why I'm saying, do they owe the fans, the audience members, and the people that they perhaps may have influenced a full reckoning of their participation in polygamy? Now, I say this not limiting it to just them, because I could make the same argument when it comes to popular people in hip hop. For instance, Jay-Z, who married Beyonce and is recorded to be a billionaire now. 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, doing very well economically, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Each one of these guys reportedly started their rap careers, prior to their rap careers, started out selling pharmaceuticals, on location pharmaceuticals. We all know what it is, right? And it was popularized that this is what gives them street credit. This is what makes them gives them credibility. This is how they got their start, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that they owe it to their fans to come out and denounce that avenue. Why do I say that? I say that because when you look at that as a beacon, as a guiding light, the same way with the OG3 and the Sister Wives, when you look at that as a guiding light to how you want to do things, you see it and say, wow, this is an avenue I can take in order for me to get to the place where I want to be. I'm only going to do it for a little bit. And I would argue that one guy out of 1,000 guys or 1,000,000 guys who do this and become successful is not a pathway. Because how many guys could rap better than 50 Cent? How many guys could play basketball or do math or science or anything else who are part of his crew or maybe co-workers with him while he was out there on location pharmaceuticals, and they didn't make it? They were arrested. They were summarily taken out. They're no longer alive, or they're still in the game, right? And they lost opportunities. How many guys who get caught up have an opportunity and lose that opportunity because they got caught up? Like same. When you look at the Sister Wives and say, well, what are your thoughts on polygamy? Well, I'd never want to say I'm embarrassed about it or I made the wrong choice, because then I want to have the family that I have. Okay, that's fine and good. But at the same time, you can't make a decision as to whether this was good or bad. It's now a wash neutral. And if we're only going to sit here and say, well, I don't want to get too mad at them and I want to make an excuse. I don't want to get too mad at them. Hey, Lizzie B, what's going on? Lizzie B, Brittany, not Brittany in the house. I don't want to get too mad at them because they had to take care of their families. They had children, and I don't want to blame them because we kind of like I noticed that. I just got finished watching Blacklist with James Spader, and in that show, James Spader played fantastic actor. Fantastic actor. I almost worked with him a couple times, but fantastic actor. He's a guy I would love to work with, but he plays a villain, like a crazy villain. But you find yourself rooting for him all the way through the season, hoping he gets away and hoping he does all this stuff. And we have a way of forgiving people for doing the wrong thing, as long as we like the people who are doing the wrong thing. Same phenomenon happened with Twilight. All of a sudden, everybody's in love with the vampire who said that he was killing said he was biting on little kids and killing up towns and the whole thing. But he's good looking and he has the attention of this young lady, so he must be okay now because he decided he was going to stop doing it. You stop doing some shit doesn't absolve the fact that you did some shit. Okay? You don't get to go out and wipe out a town and then say, you know what, I started selling Girl Scout cookies last week, so I'm completely absolved for all my wrongdoing. That's not a thing. And I think that that's kind of where we are, because if we forgive, if we overlook the things that people have done wrong, and again, I want you guys to call in if you disagree with me, please disagree with me. But if we overlook it and say they're okay for everything they did because they were looking out for their kids, can I make that same argument for Robin? Robin did what she was doing. She ignored the other family members. She isolated her husband. She took advantage of resources because she was looking out for her and she was looking out for her kids. I can make that argument, I think. And does it become okay because I put that little caveat in there? Well, she's not a bad person. She's just looking out for her kids. You know, so these are the kind of questions that I think, and to be honest with you, it kind of comes down to simply this. It's not my fault if the OG3 see this or they fans see this or other creators see this and they get upset with me. Why James coming at them? Well, one, if they were actually putting out content, I might not even got around to asking these questions. Two, let's stop being chumps about it and let's start asking real questions. Let's start having conversations. Especially if we're going to start taking up positions as content creators, that we're going to actually delve into the evils of a certain thing, whether it's polygamy, adultery, or whatever the case may be, then we have to take a full inspection and inventory of these subject matters. It's not enough for us just to say, okay, well, I'm just going to come in and be on the side of the people that I like, or talk well about the people that I like. We have to be honest about all of it, because the devil is in the details. So with all that being said, here's the link. So you guys are more than welcome to call in and leave your opinions. Let me know what you guys think. Because again, like I'm not concerned. I just want to make sure that I'm being fair and even-handed when it comes to my observations to a lot of this stuff. You know, I just want to be fair. Let's see. Brittany Not Brittany with the $4.99 super chat said we could make that argument for Robin if she didn't run around saying the OG13 were her kids while actively acting against their best interests. Yeah. But she could also say, they ain't my kids. We all have separate children. Like it's kind of that we all in this together in name only. Because I don't think, because, you know, I don't know. Like I feel like they kind of all did it. It's just more egregious when Robin does it because it's so obvious, especially because she came in so late and the way she came in. But you know, because I mean, you could like there is an argument that Mary was kind of doing the same thing because she was sitting there like during the book. She had said that she would go out and while the other kids were suffering from food insecurities, Mary and her kid was eating grass fed beef and NGO stuff. You know, like the other kids are suffering from food insecurities, eating moldy bread, and Mary's kid was eating well. So I think that phenomenon wasn't unique to Robin. It's just pointed out. It's just easier to see it when it's Robin, I think. But thank you, Brittany. Not Brittany. Let me give you a little something, something. Now we had a gifted one my take on reality membership from Darlene Hall. Darlene be in the house on Saturday, so she's opening the door, inviting folks to come in. I think it was Mama received it, so make sure you join us on Saturday for the members roundtable. Let me give you a little something, something, Darlene. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I don't want to be unfair. But here's the thing. In an attempt to, I think that there's a strong push to protect the OG3. Like that the fan base has. Like they've watched them get taken advantage of, so they have a strong push to protect them. And I get it. I totally understand. But but I don't think that we can overlook certain things. And again, I think that like I know Christine, she went to a thing with Mel and Corey the other day, her and David. They met up at an event that was supporting people who are leaving polygamy. And I think that that's important. But I just feel like, and again, call in, let me know if I'm off base with this. I just feel like Christine is in a position where she owes more. It's not like I just feel like it's not enough. I just think that like because you are actively participating in a thing. Not only actively participating in a thing, you endorse it. You became the face of a thing. And so I don't know if it's enough for you just to pull out and say, okay, yeah, I'm not doing that no more. You understand what I mean when you've encouraged people to do it. But we have Brittany, not Brittany, in the house. What's going on, Britt? How you doing?
Hey, James. I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Love the picture.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, you know, I there are some days that I really do feel like maybe we are being too hard on them, but then I do have to remember, or not, I don't have to remember, but I remember that these are grown people charging people and charging real money
Right.
for to give their opinions and their thoughts and to get us to follow them. And at the very least, you could just be likable. And that's not my fault if you're not likable. So I don't really know. I don't know what to tell you. If you're going to be on screen and you want to charge me for it, I get to have an opinion about it. And whether my opinion is positive or negative is quite frankly entirely up to you. But the same reason why we say, Robin and Cody should just be better people if they want us to actually like him, that falls in line with Mary, Christine, and Janelle.
Yeah. Well, because I would even add on to something you just said. Like the fact that, like, it's one thing if you're coming out and you're saying, this is something I went through, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's it. But like you said, like, where I'm kind of drawing a line and I'm kind of looking a little harder at it and saying that they owe more is because you guys are charging real money. And
Mhm.
you're not just charging real money, you're charging real money to people presenting yourself as a person who has the answers. So
Yes.
when many of the excuses that I've heard when people have criticized the OG3 and said that they need to do this or they need to do that, or maybe they should be more assertive when it comes to pushing back on Cody, is that, oh, but you got to understand they're still unpacking a lot of what they went through. Well, you don't get to unpack it and sell programs.
Yes.
You understand what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's just my feeling on it. Like if you're still working on yourself, then you need to finish that work. At least come to a point where you're saying and tell people, if you're going to charge people, at least tell people like, this is something I'm working on actively every day because I'm trying to get better. And I'm going to walk you through my steps, my failures and my successes in working through it, as opposed to coming out and saying, guys, I already have it figured out. Because if you already have it figured out, then then you already know what it is you did, what you should have been doing, and what you could have been doing.
Mhm.
Because you're advising other people.
It's that, and it's also like, if you don't if if there are things that they want to be private, okay, sure, that's fine. But then, one, you need to provide other avenues to be entertaining on the show,
Mm,
because at the end of the day, we're watching this for entertainment. I'm real sorry, but entertain me. That is quite frankly your job. I'm not, like, I'm not telling you to juggle or play the piano, Janelle. I'm saying go find something fun to do and let me watch it. That's fine, because hey, guess what? If you're doing that, I wouldn't have to talk about Coyote Pass. We wouldn't have to talk about Coyote Pass if y'all had something more entertaining going on for us to discuss.
right.
And
Right.
then they also, they'll bring up the topic of money, and then as soon as the fans start talking about the money, they're like, whoa, 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 now you're my business. You brought me into your business.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm confused. You can't, it is, I know you don't like it, but it is kind of an all or nothing type of gig. And if they don't want to have, if they don't want us to talk about it, they could absolutely go about their lives and not be
Mm,
on the TV show. But you're bringing in however many thousands of dollars a year.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Like, I got to go to my little customer service job, and I have to actually do work to justify me getting my money every week. So
Mm,
you guys also have to do the same. We're not asking you to do anything that the average person doesn't have to do. The only thing is that you're on TV for it.
right.
But
Right.
that's the decision that you made.
Right. Well, because that's actually one of the things that because like I said, my little dalliance and entertainment, that's
Mhm.
one of the things that I've always expressed to people is that, when push comes down to shove, anything in entertainment, whether it's being on TV, movies, whatever, right, on stage or whatever the case may be, it's a job,
Mhm.
right? Full stop. It's a job. Like you
Mhm.
apply for the job, you go down, the audition is part of your application for said job, you get hired for the job, and when you show up, guess what? They expect you to do the damn job.
Mhm.
You are hired to do a job. Where it's a fun job and people like to talk about it, like it's different, but it's a job like any other job. You can't go there, you can't sexually harass people, you can't
Mhm.
mistreat people, you can't talk shit to folks, no matter how big or famous you might think you are. There are repercussions in some cases, right? It's a job.
Mhm.
And because it is a job, I sister wives showing up on your screen on Sunday is not enough. You have to clock the fuck in and you have to do your job. And
Mhm.
that's what people are paying for when they pay for their subscriptions. That's what they're paying for. They're paying to watch you do a thing. And if you refuse to do that thing, that's fine. I mean, I like I said, I there are people who have been on the show that I don't talk like if you notice, I don't talk about all the kids who have been on the show. Even when they have things come out, I don't talk about them because they choose not to be in the spotlight. And if you
Hmm.
choose not to be in the spotlight, it's none of my business what you're doing and what you're not doing,
Right.
you know. But when you choose to take that check and you put that camera in your face, don't holler your business out and then be mad because people talking your business.
Hmm.
You
And
know,
you do it season after season. We're 20 seasons in, and you know now they want to be like, oh, you guys are just you're just way too involved, and you're delving too deep into our personal lives, and it's just like, okay, I if y'all would go to Disney World for a few episodes every season, we could just talk about Disney World.
right,
We could just talk about that. But no, you want to do that. You want Cody and Robin, y'all the one decided to put out an NDA out of nowhere, to try to get everybody to sign to NDA. Cody and Robin, you're the ones who decided to divvy up Coyote Pass all a hot mess. And Christine, Mary, and Janelle, y'all decided to sign off on the nonsense for it.
right.
So now this is what we get to talk about. This is all you've given me to talk about. I and I'm personally I'm tired of talking about it. I'm just like, y'all, if y'all don't care, I don't care.
Right.
If you don't care, I don't care. So,
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Even with my coverage, to be honest with
mhm,
you, it's starting to spiral down just
mhm,
because when push comes down to shove, they don't have anything really to discuss. There's
mhm,
not a whole lot of issues. And frankly, I mean, there's nothing to their credit, there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually them maturing. The
right,
fact that they have less issues and less problems in their life. That's a
mhm,
good thing. Bad is shitty for the show for
right,
sure. But
mhm,
in life, like my life is boring as hell. Like I said, I couldn't do a reality show. Nobody would watch it. My life,
right,
my life is terrible. For a reality show, it's terrible. It'd be terrible TV, you
mhm,
know. And I like it that way. I want it to be terrible TV,
exactly,
you know. But I don't want to be sitting there arguing with my wife. Where you going, woman? No, hell no. What I mean?
right.
I'm good.
Like, it's fine. Come home, eat dinner, go to sleep, go to work, rinse and repeat.
Right,
It's a
right.
beautiful life. And like for Christine and David, and I'll let you go because I know you got other people going. I love that for them they live a very boring life, because especially for Christine, living with Cody in that level of, because his energy, anytime he's on screen, like my blood pressure goes up. Not even because he's aggravating me or anything. He's um I'm sorry, a call came through. He just has like Cody just has very heavy energy
Yeah,
in
yeah.
general.
Because you
So
know what?
I couldn't. Mhm.
No, I was just going to say, because I kind of describe it as frantic energy.
Yes.
Like it's all over the place. It doesn't really center on anything.
Mm-mm.
It's just humming all the time,
Yes.
you know. Yeah, I know what
Yes.
you mean.
So
It,
so
no, I was just going to say because frantic energy, because I've been around people like that before. I don't like frantic energy because frantic energy usually comes off as very nervous energy, and it makes
yes.
you nervous. It makes you
Right.
anxious being around people like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I love that Christine has a very chill life with David, and they're just, living a very like boring, middle age life. It's
Mhm.
beautiful. And if they want to do like a once a year type special, just catching up with them, or, some sort of cooking show or homemaking show, that would be real cute. But in the construct of sister wives, no. And kind of none of them except for Cody and Robin really lived like that. But even Cody and Robin are just boring.
Right.
Cody just has nervous energy, and it makes it seem like it's probably going to be something exciting, but it's really not. It's just him doing mundane things completely in an unproductive manner.
Right.
So, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah. It's the I tell you what, honey, but he doesn't say anything.
right,
You know?
right.
I got to talk to you. Nothing happens.
Nothing. Him moving through life is literally just him cutting down trees. Like,
Right.
just as a human being, it's him going, "Oh my God, I'm going to cut down this tree in the most illogical, unsafe, worst way that you could cut down a tree." Is him talking to people, that's him cooking, that's probably him cleaning, him folding laundry, like all that energy is a mess.
Right.
There's no need for us to watch it. Robin can watch it for free. You can watch it for free.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
That actually might make that's the part that'll make the show interesting. As soon as they threaten to cancel the show, all of a sudden Robin talking about leaving, then that's what everybody wants to see anyway. So the numbers will shoot up again.
You know, I'm mad about it. I'm mad at myself about it because I know myself. I would show back up to watch that.
Yeah.
I would actually. I'm not gonna watch the show, but if y'all start saying in the when the show comes back on like the lives or whatever that they starting to break up, I may take a little peek. I may Y'all may get me.
Like I'm back,
Right. Did you miss me?
Right.
But yeah, I'm not gonna take up no more of your time.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in, Brittany. Not Brittany. I appreciate you.
No problem. See you in the chat.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Brittany, not Brittany in the house. Yeah, yeah. I think that would be like the that those not actually that show might actually do numbers. Those shows might actually do numbers. But next up, we got a T Boyle. What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, James.
How are you?
Well, I will tell you right now, I've had 2 drinks, so I may not be the best person. I've had a long day. I don't work overtime normally, and I've worked 2 hours overtime today. But I'm just gonna say that I haven't watched for a while. I've called a couple of times into your show, and I've kind of talked about it. But I always listen to you when I see it. That you've popped up.
Oh, okay.
So I really feel, to me, like everything has been a lie. They've all kind of said that it's been a lie, and I feel like we're chumps for watching it. That's kind of how I feel.
Hmm.
Although I've spent so much time. I've watched it from the beginning, and I'm still kind of interested in it. I always watch you whenever you show up, and I have like 3 or 4 other sister wives reactors that I watch, but I really haven't seen anybody since or well, Katie I have, but it's just, I just feel like it's just videos that she's posting out there.
Right.
But I really feel like Cody. I remember whenever he was sitting. This was a couple of seasons back when he was sitting with Mary and they were talking. They were like doing the breakup, and he said, I was performing.
Oh, it was an
And
act. Yeah.
yeah, it was an act. And then she was like, well, nobody wants that. And then he's like, no, it wasn't an act, it was a performance. Like that was something different.
Right, right. That makes it better.
Yeah, exactly. And I really feel like that's what they're all doing, is a performance. And so Mary was on Melanie and Corey's, whatever it is, their YouTube thing. And she said they were talking about different things. She didn't give away a whole lot, but she did say that they were talking about their garments that they wear.
Mm-hmm.
And Melanie had asked her whenever she stopped wearing her garments. And she's like, well, I kind of stopped before the show stopped or started. Okay, well, Mary was deconstructing back then. You know,
Right.
however long that was. I don't even know when the show started, how long it's been on. But
2010, I think.
2010.
Right.
So and then how many times has Janelle left? You know, she left 2 or 3 times, and at one time, I mean, I've heard different things. I don't have all of the stuff. I don't know. But I mean, at one time, and I've heard different things. Like one time she had been gone for like several years.
Mm.
And then they got the show. Here comes Janelle, you know, and they're all back. Christine's pregnant whenever the show starts. And, you know, I don't know. I just don't feel like any of it's completely genuine. I feel like they were all at a point of jumping off from the beginning. And it was the show that, okay, now we can, you know, we don't have to struggle so much. And, you know, Cody had done a podcast with like these Mormons. I don't know if anybody saw that.
Yeah,
And,
Mormonism Live podcast.
yeah. And he was talking about they wanted to do a documentary, just one documentary type thing. And he was like, no, I need to show everybody what's going on. And we need a series.
Right.
And that's how it started. They didn't, you know, and so that's what they were doing. I mean, they're all grifters, you know, even his daughter, whatever her name is, McKelty, he's like, no, not McKelty. Was it, what's her name? Janelle's daughter, Madison. They were always like, you know, he was like always quick scheme type thing. And what better way, you know, let's get a series. And that's what they did. Right. And that brought Janelle back in. That's what they did. And I just feel like, for me, like I said, they're just performing. It's been a performance. And that season with whenever Christine left, I never liked Christine from the beginning. I thought she was a whiner, you know. But since that season, you know, I was always on Christine's side. It was like she was always the truth teller to me. After looking back, because she was always saying things, you know, like, oh, well, you know, he's not here and blah, 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 blah. But she seemed like a whiner to me. I didn't know. But after that, was it season 17, whenever she left? I mean, that was the best season to me. And since then, you know, and then Janelle left, and then Mary left, and then the apology and all this kind of stuff. It's just fabricated bullshit, you know. And whatever they can bring in, you know, I've heard people say, I still listen to stuff. I just, like I said, I don't watch the show, but they're like, well, this next season is they're going to have a reunion, and they're going to be in the same spot and all this kind of. It's just fabricated, you know. I mean, we just want them to tell the truth. That's all we want. You know, for me, it's like this catfish thing. I know, God, good Lord. Robin's best friend, Kendra, was involved. You know, and Mary finally said it. You know, Mary, what do you think? They don't ask the questions, you know. Suki didn't ask the question. Well, okay, well, if it was her best friend that was involved with all this stuff with Robin, you know, Robin's best friend, you know, they just don't connect the dots. And it's just like, why don't you ask the questions? And that's what we want to know. And that's what we want to know. That's what I want to know.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, because you said that you want to hear the truth.
Yeah.
What if the truth isn't as entertaining as the lie? Because I think that that's part of the problem, is that, like, when rubber meets the road, the only way they would able to even get back in the same room is that if these relationships were actually as toxic, harmful, and abusive as we've all kind of taken them to be, there's no way they would all be getting back in the same room.
Well, here's the thing. I think they were all on the same page. as soon as Robin entered it, I think they knew, you know, it's polygamy. They all know they're not, you know, except for whatever her name is, Janelle. They were all involved in polygamy. They knew. Christine knew. Her mom fucking left. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Her mom left whenever he married another, you know, a woman or whatever. She couldn't handle it. You know, Christine was indoctrinated. She was like, and she loved her dad. Her dad was good to her. She was a lucky one. And, you know, after seeing all that, and I finally realized, well, I mean, she was indoctrinated. She believed it. She was a daddy's girl. And that's what it is. It's all indoctrination. And even though Mary was, you know, they were brought in later, I mean, she was indoctrinated in it. And I really feel like Mary stuck it out. She didn't leave, well, probably because of the show, but also because of her mother. You know, I mean, if you look, all of them left after their mothers died, you know, except for Christine. Her mom had left. And I don't know. I mean, my mom died last year. And, you know, I mean, I would have done everything to honor her if she, you know what I mean? And
Right.
so I don't know. But I'm sorry, I forgot the question. Like I said, I'm not.
The question was like simply this: like,
Mhm.
we want to see an actual show,
Mhm.
but I don't think that there's a story there for there to actually be a show.
James, there's not.
Each one of them have already left. They've all kind of pursued their own interests. Christine is
Yes.
already freaking married
Yeah.
to another whole ass dude. And they've been married. It's not like they just got married this year. They've been married for like what, 4 years now.
Since
So
2018, 2019.
right. I mean, so they've moved on. Like she's moved on. Mary has moved on. Janelle has moved on. So even if they get back together, even once they come together, there's nothing for them to talk about.
I agree.
So even on a reunion tour, who gives a shit? Like you guys, you're financially you're divested from each other. You don't really have any other issues. The only thing that you could potentially talk about, which might be kind of relevant, would be your children and the relationship between Cody and your children and how you guys interact with each other. But these are adult children. So even
Exactly.
that's kind of, you know,
Right.
neither here nor there.
Well, and you can look at Melanie and Corey. Melanie especially. You know, these men don't give a shit about their children. They don't. It's a numbers game. How many, you know, I don't know if Cody fully believed it because he came in at such a late age until this, but I don't know what Mormonism is. I don't know what they believe, you know, if they have the celestial kingdom and all that kind of stuff and how you get into heaven. I mean, how do you like go on a Mormon thing, you know, on a bicycle with another guy, and then all of a sudden you come back and your dad's a polygamist and like, okay, well, I'm going over here. I mean, can that, resonate with you? Or was he trying to, you know, his dad didn't think he was like the guy, you know, he was always trying to impress his dad. His dad died too, you know, and then he got rid of everybody. You know what I mean? So it's just like the parents, are they trying to, whatever the word is for their parents, you know, if you Mary, Janelle, Cody, all their parents died, and then all of a sudden it's all over, you know?
Right. Well, because I don't even know if it's even as much for the benefit of the parents, to be honest with you. Because I mean, these are because part of like this is part of the reason why, like the initial question for the show was, do the OG3, particularly, and even Cody and Robin, do they owe the fans a full airing out of their positions of polygamy right now?
No, they don't owe us anything. They don't.
Okay, let's run with
But
that.
if they want to stay on the air, they do. That's the thing. If they want, you know, to still keep their viewership or whatever that's called, yes, they do. Because the people that are watching the show are invested. You know, I mean, I'm a Redditor. I've been a Redditor for years. and it's dying off. I mean, it is just dying off. And people, like, new people come in and whatever, and they ask the same question over and over and over again. It's boring. You're losing. People are just dropping off.
Right. No,
So,
well, the reason I asked the question, the specific question of do they owe, what I'm referring to specifically is they held out. These aren't just casual people who are involved in these types of relationships and then the relationships dissolved. These are people who held themselves out as the standard bearers for polygamy and encouraging people to find out about polygamy and accept polygamy. And then once they decided to leave polygamy, they've all started their own self-help groups. So it's
yeah.
not just the fact that all of a sudden they just stopped doing it because the relationships didn't work out. They started to educate people on how to conduct relationships, get over relationships, and be a part of different types of relationships. And they're using the platform that they built up on Sister Wives to do it. So that's why I'm saying, like, do they owe the people whom they're trying to sell these programs to, further explanation as to how polygamy worked, why it didn't work, why they wouldn't participate in it any further, and how they made a mistake?
Well, here's the thing with that. Critical thinkers. There's a lot less of us now. If you're watching the show and you just kind of came in, maybe, but I'm Gen X. I'm a critical thinker. I'm taking all of it in, and I would never listen to Christine. I would never listen to Mary. I would never listen to Janelle. Whenever Christine was talking, and that's whenever I got off of that I jumped off the boat. Whenever Christine was like, he's this year, when she was talking about, like, he's a good guy or whatever she said about him, I was like, what the fuck? You just wrote a book,
Right.
But I mean, I know that, she probably had some sort of thing where she couldn't say anything bad or whatever about him. What if it was like what do they call it? What is that thing they were saying about they couldn't, I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry.
Wait, what?
Where they can't talk.
Oh, the NDA?
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it is. I mean, maybe there's NDAs out where they can't say whatever they're trying to say, because, and that's what it is. I mean, and Mary, she went on, she said that whenever, I don't know if it was on, because I think she was on with, she's gone on a couple of different people that I watch where she was talking about writing a book, but she's not going to write a tell-all. Her book's not going to be a tell-all. It's going to be like how she came to wherever she's at now. Well, nobody gives a shit. I mean, I don't. I'm not speaking for everybody. I shouldn't say everybody. I don't care. I want to know, Mary, what happened? What happened? And did you approve of Robin? Did you? Because sometimes she acts like, well, yeah, oh yeah, I'm good with Robin. And then you see like videos or like snippets from the show where she's, especially the famous one, where she's talking, Robin had said that, like, well, Cody and I went and got the dress and blah, 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 blah. And I really think that, well, maybe it was a different video. I'm sorry. Like I said, I probably shouldn't be talking to people because I had some alcohol. But what was it? She said that, oh God, what was it? I'm sorry. Now I'm nervous.
I'll be nervous. Well, I mean, I think. No, go
I'm
ahead.
trying to get it out. Oh my God, it just left me. Oh my God. Robin completely lied. Oh my God, what was it? I'm sorry, it's gone. It's completely gone.
Well, let me help you. Let me help you out because I think that what you're referring to is there is a point where Mary had tried to, because from the onset, Mary was the device used to excuse Robin in coming into the family.
But she
So
wasn't. I don't believe that she was.
you don't think she was used to excuse Robin coming into the family?
Well, I think she was playing a role. That's what I think. I don't think Mary wanted another. I don't think she wanted Robin in the family.
No, I don't
And
think so either. But when for the show's sake, when
yeah,
they
that's
presented
exactly it.
Robin
And that's
coming
what I'm
into
saying.
the
It's a role. They were
right,
playing a role. They were. It was all a fabrication from the
but
beginning.
when Robin came into the family, they had to explain it because they couldn't come out. The truth of the matter is when the show first aired in 2010, they couldn't come out and say, "Yeah, Cody went to church one day and he
Mm-hmm.
was sitting there looking at Robin, walk back and forth past him, and he's staring at the crack of her ass the entire time during the course of the sermon."
Yeah.
And he decided he was going to go over and rap to her, started
Mm-hmm.
talking to her, built a relationship with her, met her at the dance, and then he started trying to integrate her into the family because that made him look like the dirty old man. So instead, what they said was Robin met Mary first. Mary introduced Robin to Cody, and she's the one that opened the door. That's the story that we were initially told.
Exactly. But
That's the
we
story
were
we were
like,
initially
but
told.
they broke that wide open. Was it this year? Whenever Robin was like, "Well, I saw you, and then a bolt of lightning came through my body."
Right.
I mean, and that was Christine's story. And it's just like I'm saying. I mean, at the point for me is that it's all a fabrication. It's all a lie, and they're not being truthful with what it was. And from the very beginning, when Robin came into the family, it was done. It was over. And Robin came into the family before the show started. I mean, that's when it started. And Cody was in love. I mean, he found his soulmate and all this kind of stuff. I mean, he fell in love for the first time. And so, but they all played the part because they had the show. They didn't want a documentary. They wanted a show. And it's all about the money for me. I mean, that's kind of how it falls in my brain anyway. And and Cody said it on that Mormon whatever it was. And I just don't think that they all, especially when Mary says she was deconstructing before the show started, she wasn't wearing her garments and she was questioning everything. And she let a few things out, but that's just where I'm at. I don't know. It's just hard to watch. And like I said, I had cable because of my mom. She passed away last year. I don't have cable anymore. I don't watch it. But I listen to the podcast and I still go. God, I'm just so indoctrinated as well with Sister Wives. But it's hard to let go. I just want it to be okay. This is what the situation was, and I just want to blow up Cody and whatever her name is, Robin.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that it's fair play, and if we're going to be honest about it, because that's my thing. Like, I want to just be honest about it. When push comes down,
Exactly.
I think that the show itself is dying, and
Yes.
they're trying to find a way to make it work. They're trying to make it work, but I don't think that it will work. Like,
No.
I just don't think it'll. I don't because there's not enough. There's not enough story there, and if we're going to be honest about it, they aren't. It's not new enough. It's not fascinating enough
Well, I
for
mean,
people to
how
take time to watch.
fascinating is it if they have a family reunion, or whatever it is? I mean, we already know. I mean, I don't know if this was a new thing, but I saw Janelle and Christine on some sort of thing. They're like, well, we're all gonna be in the same room and blah blah blah, and it's gonna be so uncomfortable and blah blah blah, but we're gonna deal with it. And I'm so sorry, I'm very animated right now.
Okay.
But we're gonna see right through that. I mean, to me, I mean, like I said, I'm not. I can see right through it, and um, let's see the truth. Just tell us the truth, Janelle. What do you really think? Christine, what do you really think? He's not a great guy. He's not a great guy. And none of them are. I mean, I'm just looking at things that I've heard from like Corey and Melanie. These guys are not great guys. You know, this is and what they're dealing with is not is situational. It's universal. I mean, she doesn't even talk to her own father anymore.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and he degrades. You know what I mean? I mean, they're just. But at the same time, Cody's playing a role because I mean, he was 18, 20, whenever he came into this religion. But then Robin is the one. I mean, I feel like, you know, she was in, I mean, she came in making it sound like it was her ex-husband and that had all the debt and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, well, whenever we got divorced, I decided to go ahead and take all the debt on. It was your debt. And, you know, I mean, it's just all been a lie. It's all been a lie. And it's never been cleared up. And, you know, the sister wives had never said, well, you know, we had to, you know, clear up her credit, whatever, so she could get the house, you know, whatever it was, whatever they had to do. We don't know. Maybe they don't owe that to us, but at the same time, you know, you want us to watch, tell.
Hello.
And I feel like I see the bullshit. And
Well, I
I'm
mean,
just not going to give them anything. I mean, I have like the Libby app for the library, and I got Christine's book. I didn't pay any money for it. I listened to it, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, and I feel like she gave some stuff, but you know,
yeah, I
but
didn't listen.
then after that, this season, and it was like, oh, he's a great guy. What the fuck are you? Sorry. What are you talking about? You
Well,
know,
because again, I think that when it comes down to it,
mm-hmm.
they're doing what they have to do in order to sell as many books as they can sell, in order for them to keep like this thing going for themselves. But it falls on the audience really to
Mm-hmm.
determine how much they're willing to put up with, because the show itself, they're not like they're this is kind of that weird place where they're starting to act as though it's, or at least it's coming off to me like how back in the 80s 90s they used to treat the royal family.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just come out and do something, like they go out golfing or riding a horse and everybody pretends like it's the most interesting thing in the world and nobody's ever seen them do it before. Oh, look, Princess Diana is driving a car. Woo, this is crazy. You know, and everybody pretends like she's, you know, she's there, messing with Mercury. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just the fact that there isn't, I don't think that there's a story to tell, because even in
There's
season
not.
19, season 20, the storylines were so light that they didn't have anything to talk about. Most of the, because in any season you would have what's called a filler episode,
Mm-hmm.
right? To kind of stack out your, because you can't have every episode be like a mind-bending, drama-filled mess. So you have to have your filler episodes where you kind of calm people down, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same reason why you have comedy and horror movies, you know, the joking guy or the funny spots in dramas, because you can't just run people's temperaments that hard. This entire, like, last two seasons, the entire thing has been all filler episodes,
Exactly.
you know, and so
No,
they don't have
and
a
people
story to tell.
recognize. I mean,
Right.
we recognize that. It's all just backfill and blah blah blah. I mean, did they touch on, was it this season that they touched on the catfish with Robin and her best friend? Was it this season or was it last season?
Well, it wasn't even during the season. It was during the tell-all.
Well, was it this season or last season?
It was this season. During the tell-all.
That could blow some stuff up, you know? I mean, the questions weren't asked, you know?
Well, I mean, in fairness, though, it's like because the even the catfish thing, the catfish situation happened 10 years ago.
But at the exact same time, if Robin was involved, and she was, that was from the very beginning.
Right.
You know?
But that was 10 years ago.
Exactly. You know, and they're bringing it up now. And Robin's like, oh, yeah, I had this friend. They're just glossing over it. That is critical to me. That's critical.
Well, because even then, like because even the catfish stuff, it's like most of the things that they talk about on the show now, we've already known, like as fans, we already knew about Kendra and her involvement. This is nothing new. Like even when they came out and said it, it's nothing new.
Though.
It's new to you, baby. I've been known about Kendra. They have Kendra has interviews.
She does. I watched them all. And years ago, I was on Kendra's channel on Facebook.
Right. Years ago, right?
Yes.
And you knew that Kendra was involved, right?
I didn't know to what extent. I thought Kendra was just like, you know, a fangirl. And I got off her channel because I was like, this bitch is just sorry. Because she was talking about all of them, and she was saying like, you know, nobody was involved, but whatever her name was, Robin, and you know, he stays with Robin and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, no, that's not what happened. You know, I didn't know that she was for real. I didn't know.
Didn't think she was that's been a fan theory forever. Like Kendra was involved with it, and Robin had set it up through her friend Kendra. Because Kendra is the one who validated to Mary that the catfish was actually a person.
Yes, I know. I understand that. I mean, there's been multiple like Reddit threads on this stuff and all this kind of stuff, and people have gone into detail. I get that, but I'm saying, at that time in the beginning, I mean, like this was the beginning. Kendra was like, you know, she was spilling it all. I didn't believe any of it. You know, because I didn't know. I had no idea. But she was. And and who knows if it's even true. I mean, it's so convoluted. I mean, you know, I don't know.
Well, I mean, like I'll put it this way. Mm-hmm. One, if Kendra was involved, and Kendra is Robin's friend,
exactly,
and Kendra inserted herself in a relationship to go to Mary and advocate for the catfish, then she's involved. And there's no way that I would believe that Robin wasn't involved if Kendra's involved. The fact that Robin is going back and told Cody specific things about what was going on way back when Mary first revealed that she was having a problem with the catfish, and she said that the catfish person was able to talk about conversations and things that were happening in her house.
Yes.
I understood, just from my knowledge, I understood how difficult it would actually be for you to bug somebody's house. So I didn't believe that they had electronic surveillance in the house. So it was my assumption at that point that she was talking to somebody who was going back telling the catfish.
I did not have that. I did not put that together for myself. But at the same time, that tells you right there, you know, Robin's involved. But at the same time, in the tell-all, it's not confirmed. You know, Robin's like, well, I just told her, like, if that's whatever you're telling me, I don't want to hear it anymore. You know, they put a stop to it. It was never, to me, it was never, what's the word? solidified that Robin was a part of the catfish. They,
Well, let me ask you a question. If you had
Yeah.
a conversation with a friend of yours,
yeah.
right, and upon you ending that conversation, like you're talking about, I don't know your situation, but if you have a guy that you're seeing, right,
Mhm.
upon ending that conversation with your friend, you know, an hour later, your guy friend calls you up and starts detailing the conversation that you had with your friends, the issues that you brought up, and the conversation you had. Would you think that he's bugging your house, or would you think your friend went back and told him?
That's what I'm saying. It's a performance. It's all a performance.
No,
I don't
I'm
think
saying like forget everything else. I'm saying specifically, if Mary is doing this, Mary knows that Robin went back and told. When she got on TV and said that the catfish was bugging her house, that shit
Mhm.
didn't make any sense to me. If
Oh
I
yeah.
thought somebody broke into my house and I have children who are not only in my home, but kids that are living next door to me who are connected to me, and I don't say anything, those women should have jumped up and whipped Mary's ass at that at that diner. They should have whipped her ass because there's no way in the world you're going to put my children in jeopardy because you out here trying to get your freaking leak on. That's ridiculous. That in and of itself would be ridiculous to me. The only thing that makes sense is she was sitting there talking to Robin. Robin went back and told because these other women didn't pick up on that. They didn't get upset. They didn't get mad. Nobody got mad about that.
So you're saying that Mary told Robin everything,
Mary was having
not that the
conversations with Robin.
catfish told, not that Kendra told Robin everything.
Mary went back, had a conversation with Robin. My belief is Robin either went to the catfish directly or she talked to Kendra, who went and told the conversation to Mary.
It
And
could have
that's
happened
how the
either way.
catfish was downloaded on the conversation. Anything else doesn't make sense because otherwise, that would mean that the catfish had infiltrated her house. He broke into her house and
Well,
put
we already know
bugs
that
all
didn't
over her
happen.
house.
We already know that didn't happen, but how did it happen? I mean,
How did what
so
happen?
that's what I'm saying, James. It's a performance. It's all been a lie. Mary knew, if that's the case. She knew. You
Right.
know,
Well, I mean,
she wasn't
that's
wearing
the thing
garments. She
too.
was already deconstructing. She already knew it was over, blah, 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 blah.
But that's my
Um,
point about the catfish. If she already knew and she was cool with it, then it's not an issue. It wasn't an issue 10 years ago. It's not an issue now.
but it kind of is because, I mean,
If it's fake, how is it an issue?
well, I mean, for me, it's an issue for us as viewers. Because we were lied to. I mean, that's what it is. It was, like I said, it's just been a performance. It's just, as Cody said, it's been an act. If that's what it is, it's all been a performance. It's all been for money. Just like government, just like everything. Everybody's in everybody's back pocket. That's why we're in the situation we're in now. You know, um, I don't know. I just don't.
Well, I mean, I think that I'm not disparaging the fact that I think that it was an act. I'm not disparaging the fact that they put things on for television and for entertainment to try to sell the show, to keep the show going. I'm not disputing that at all. I'm just saying that the way things are, the fact that you have to go back and reach back 10 years to an issue that has been clearly resolved at this point.
It
Because
hasn't been clearly resolved. It hasn't. They
wait,
never
are they
said
still together? Robin and
that
Cody are no longer, or Mary and Cody are no longer together.
they're not.
So the
But
fact that Mary
that
cheated on Cody
issue with the
means
catfish
nothing.
has never been clear to me. Has never been clearly resolved. It's not. It's
Well, I
never been.
mean, what issues would you want to know about the catfish?
I want to hear from them what they think happened with the catfish. You know, do you ask the question? Was Robin involved? Did she know? You know, I
Well,
really. Why? Kendra was on the fucking show. You
right.
know.
Well, I mean, but that's my point. Like, it was the whole thing is that
Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. I'm sorry.
no, it's fine. It's fine. Like we can try to, because this is what TLC is trying to do. They're trying to turn this issue into a mountain. But at the end of the day, one of the problems that I have with a lot of the subject matters that we're talking about, even with like the reunion show, is that
Yeah.
these shows don't have what I like to refer to as there's no gravitas to these situations. There's no stakes. What
Yeah.
difference does it make if Robin knew that she set Mary up? She full on set Mary up to fall for the catfish so that she could get Cody to herself. The shit worked. It's over now. Cody and Mary are no longer together. They've been broke up. Technically, they weren't even together. If we're gonna keep it all the way as that, Mary and Cody weren't together even before the catfish happened, which left the door open for the catfish to come in the first place. You know what I mean? So the best thing we could hope for, and I don't disagree with you. I'm just kind of a double advocate.
No, I get it.
But the best we can hope for is maybe to get an embarrassment reel where we blow Robin out and prove that she's a liar. But I'm satisfied with the information that I have that she was being dishonest. 2, I'm satisfied with the fact that, like, even if Robin did do it, she did her worst. It happened. The relationship is over. It's done data. It's been over for about 10 years now.
Well, you're a better person than me because I want to see her squirm. And
yeah, I mean, like Robin, to be honest with you, it's with I'm thinking of a person specifically, but there's a point to be made where you look at it and say you can't shame the shameless. Robin is never going to be embarrassed about doing the shit she did. She's never going to be embarrassed about it.
No, and I kind of get that because I really feel like out of all of them, she's the one that's the most indoctrinated. She was, her mom was married to her dad and whatever happened with that. And she was never like, whatever the word is, acknowledged or whatever. And then she married the stepdad. And then all of a sudden they were there on the weekends and he was there on the weekends and wherever they were at. And, she had her own thing. And that messes with you. And her mom was like, I'm going to make him think that this is a honeymoon situation. And, so he was there every weekend and she loved that guy. Her dad didn't give her the care that whatever. And so that whenever she came into this relationship with Cody, that's what she decided she was going to do because, Preston, whatever, he wasn't interested in all of that. And, they were just living however they were living. He had a business and, she broke that guy.
Right.
And twice. I mean, they, from my understanding, they paid off all of her, whatever it was, her bills or whatever. And then she did it again. And her family gave them money, or his family gave them money to pay it off. And she did it again.
Right.
And then she's saying, well, I decided to take on all of the debt. What was your debt?
Right.
And was she a great mother? I mean, she had people come in while she went and shopped. I mean, she's got a problem. I mean, obviously she has a problem with all these dolls and all this kind of stuff. Who knows what other things she's bought, that Redditors haven't figured out. But finally she got rid of all of that and they can't track her anymore. But as far as the dolls go, but she's got a serious problem and she's trying to fill a hole with all this shopping, obviously. I don't think she loves Cody. Who the hell could? Good.
Well, I mean,
God, he's an imbecile.
He also served a purpose. Like, so when push comes down to shove, no matter what we say, like, because the same excuse that we make for the OG3, you can make the same excuse for Robin. She was indoctrinated into this lifestyle by her mom. This is how she was brought up. She was taught to try to go after her man, to corral him so that he would pay attention to her and her kids, and he would feed her resources. This is how she was indoctrinated. It's a cultural thing. So, I mean, you could make that argument for her as well. The same way we excuse the OG3 for their decisions, we would have to give that same grace to Robin.
No, I don't give that same grace to them. I don't give that same grace to Cody because he wasn't indoctrinated in this.
Well, he was in
And neither
Cody
was
was actually
Janelle,
in a
and
companion
neither was
relation.
really Mary.
He was in a companion religion that was very close to,
Well,
so it's not that, like,
okay.
Mormonism isn't that far from AU.
Okay, I really don't understand all of that. I mean, I will fully admit, but I'm just saying he wasn't brought up in polygamy. I just understand from what I've heard, and again, I'm not an expert, but at all, but that Mormonism frowns on polygamy.
The LDS does, yes.
Well, LDS, what? Okay, so what? Wait.
The Church of Latter-day Saints. That's the big church.
Yes,
that's the big church.
I'm thinking of the other guy, the one that's in prison. What's
that's
that?
the FLDS. That's the fundamental.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry, FLDS. Okay, but his dad, which he was always trying from his thing, his dad's a cowboy and he was a badass and he was, like he was always trying to get his dad's, attention. And from my understanding, or from what I've heard, and who knows the hell if it's true, I don't know, was Cody was always trying to get his dad's approval, and his dad didn't approve of Cody. And
right. But wouldn't that also go towards his upbringing? If he's trying to get his dad's approval, and
yes, exactly. I'm saying
that would go towards his upbringing. So it would be the same thing as if he grew up in a polygamous church. Because they're trying to get the approval of their church the same way, like their moms, like for instance, Mary's mom was part of the AUB. She grew up in a polygamous church. You yourself said she didn't break away from the polygamous relationship until her mom passed because she was trying to get her mom's approval.
I don't know.
Cody is doing the same thing.
Was her mom a part of the polygamous church?
Yes.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah,
but
Mary's mom.
Cody's dad was not, and because Cody himself said that his mother is the one that wanted to join the polygamous church, and
Cody also said that Mary introduced him to Robin. Cody also said that the women also have a say in whether the relationship. So that I'm kind of tangential about.
Well, no. I'm just saying, Cody, he was a Mormon his whole life.
Right.
He went on one of those, whatever they do, on a bicycle and, a white shirt and a tie for 2 years.
Right.
So he was following his path, and he came back and his family had joined the polygamous church, which the Mormons don't, he was not necessarily indoctrinated in polygamy. And
but that's saying that a religion is way more powerful than the influence of a parent. And I don't necessarily believe that.
No, it's not. His parents believed it.
No, what I'm saying is that if Cody is trying to align himself with his father and his mom to get on their good side because he feels like the black sheep of the family and he wants to try to make himself closer akin to his father, I think that would have more influence on Cody than if he would have grown up in the AUB church. Because he's trying to get the approval of his father. So by him marrying several women, if he thought that could get him closer to his dad and his dad might start liking him, I think that's just as valid, if not more pressing, than if he would have grown up in the AUB church.
That's what I'm saying. I think he was trying to impress his father.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know that he truly believed in it. He married Mary, and he was like, I'm not sure I should have married Mary. It was a mistake. She tricked me into marrying her, blah, 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 blah. Didn't he say that? I mean,
well, he says that now. He says that now, but he was also 18, 19 years. He was 20 when he married Mary, and he was a guy who was trying to have sex all the time. So you were able to have sex with a woman who's going to allow you to have sex with other women. So do I believe that based on that alone, that he might have thought he was in a good relationship with Mary? For sure. He's 20 years old and he's with a woman who said that he can go out and get other women. Like all the shenanigans about the faith and all that stuff put aside. I'm just saying, he's 20 years old and he's like, if I marry this woman, I can actively go out and try to pursue other women.
Yes.
So she was the gateway. So do I think that played a part in it? Absolutely.
But why did he, why did he just like, oh, there's Mary,
Well, because Mary
and
was
he
the
was
one.
the new blood, and they've already said, like Christine said, new blood. That was the thing because of, whatever it is. Like
Mary's family, like just understand, like we detail and break it apart. Mary's family was the one who was working with Wynn and his family to help them into the AUB church.
oh, they were.
So that was how Cody met Mary and how he was tied into Mary. Mary was one of the first people that he met coming into the church.
But he was 20 years old. 20 years old.
Right.
Indoctrination takes longer than that.
No,
he was
20 years old. Yeah, that's why the military recruit you at 17, 18 years old. Because you can get a 20-year-old. No, you can get a 20-year-old to do all kinds of ridiculous shit. Absolutely. A 20-year-old? Oh my God, your brains aren't even fully cooked at 20.
And no, I was 18. I went into college. I went into military science, and they were trying to get us to rappel off building. I mean, I just did it because it was an elective. They couldn't get me to go in there. Fuck no, I wasn't going to do all that. They were going to recruit me.
The average 20-year-old, especially average 20-year-old man, you can convince them to do all kinds of dumb shit.
I'm just saying,
of dumb shit.
You can convince them, but am I being ridiculous? But at the same time, there's something about your soul and about resonation and all that kind of stuff. Does it resonate? Okay, well, this is what my dad believes. This is what he wants me to do. I'm not giving Cody any kind of, I'm just saying, because I'm not. I hate Cody. I hate Robin.
Okay.
I shouldn't say hate, but I don't like them. But at the same time, he came out. You're indoctrinated in something. Indoctrination is something.
But is
they were indoctrinated for 20 years into thinking polygamy is not the way. And then all of a sudden, hey, we're indoctrinated.
Well, let's be very clear. It's not like they were preaching all 20 years that polygamy isn't the way. You're in a companion relationship or companion religion.
Is it? I don't know.
The only substantive difference between the AUB's faith and the LDS church is the fact of polygamy, the principle of polygamy.
Yes.
Everything else is pretty much aligned. So if you just take on that, if you're 20 years old, I'm just saying, put yourself in the shoes of a 20-year-old horny ass man, and you're told that you are given the ability from the higher power to go out and sleep with and bed as many women as you can pull into your house.
Yeah.
You're telling you telling me that you got to go and convince. I could understand if you had a heterosexual male and you said, look, you got to go out and try to bang as many guys as you possibly can. That's going to take indoctrination. But for you to tell a 20-year-old man that he can go out and try to sleep with and screw as many women as he wants, that's not a whole lot. That indoctrination slope is very shallow.
James, I'm not convinced with Cody that he gave a shit about women, especially after he was like, well, in college, he never went to college. Maybe he went a semester or whatever it was. He had a relationship. That was the same time he was on his journey with his partner that was on a bicycle with his white shirt and tie. I don't, not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't care. But I really think that Cody was after his father's approval. That's what I think.
Well, let me ask you this. If we take the assumption that he was, in fact, what we used to call back in the day down low, right? Mm-hmm. He was in the closet.
Yeah.
That would also make it more likely that he would try to join a relationship or religion where he doesn't have to necessarily focus on or be with one woman. That also makes it attractive. Because if I have to commit myself to one woman, then I'm in that relationship. Whereas if I can spread myself out to many people and I can just have the facade and the illusion that I'm a manly man. It keeps me in the closet, keeps my secret, and I don't have to actually focus on any one woman in that relationship. You know where else you saw that? With Leon. That's why Leon, in my opinion, and I love for Leon to come on. If they disagree with what I'm saying, please come on or say whatever you got to say. But I think that that's part of the reason why Leon was so worried about polygamy when they were young, because that way, if they were a part of a polygamous relationship, then she doesn't really have to deal with the husband. He just come by, do his business, make some babies, and he go off, and she just live her life or live their life. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. I'm just saying, and again, I don't care what anybody's situation is. I don't care who you want to be with. I don't care. I'm all for it, whatever. But even his high school, the people that he went to high school with thought he wasn't into women,
Right. Right. And that's possible. But like I said, if you're not in the best scenario for you, if you are really, really into women, or if you're not into women at all, is polygamy. Because if you in those
wait, no. We'll say that again.
The best scenario for you, if you really, really, really like women, or conversely, you have zero interest in women, the best situation for you is polygamy.
I understand that.
The reason why is because you never have to focus on any one woman. I don't have to have with my wife. I have to connect with my wife in order to keep my wife around. We have to connect. In order for me to stay, I have to be present. I have to be mindful. I have my time is my time, and she gets my time. She's allotted, a certain amount of my time, and that's a given. In polygamy, she's not guaranteed any of that. I don't have to come home and talk to her about anything. I don't have to divulge anything. I can keep my secrets. I can go off and do what I want to do. If she gets on my nerves, I can just say, you know what? I'm going to go over Susan's house. And instead of going to Susan's house, I go wrestle with Tom or Bradley. You understand what I mean?
You just proved my point.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm just saying, like that. This is where I'm at. Like it's the best of both worlds for this type of situation.
No, I 100% agree, and I get that. I'm not trying to pigeonhole him or anything like that. I'm just saying, all of this doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And again, performance, it's all been an act from the beginning, and it's just been an act. It's just been an act. And Robin is happy, whatever she can go buy her dolls and whatever she's doing. Let's see how long it lasts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, bottom line, I think that once the show ends, that's when the true test of their real relationship starts.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to be in love right now for Cody and Robin. It's easy to be in love when you're getting them fat ass $1 million checks every year.
Hey, James, what do you think? You think she's gonna leave?
Yeah, she's gonna leave. Yeah,
she's gonna leave.
If they give a call and be like, "Yeah, we kind of considering canceling the show," she's packed. I think she's already got bags packed. Like,
where's she gonna go? But where's she gonna go?
What do you mean?
I mean, they have debt. They don't have any money. They're spending everything that they have as fast as they make it, according to internet lore, whatever it is. But where's she gonna go? Melanie has said, people are like, well, she's going to go back to the AUB and marry her dad. I mean, would she do that? You think she'd do that?
If the money's right, yeah.
Well, what does he got? I mean, is there kind of money in AUB? I don't know.
Yeah, those guys, look, those guys who run those churches, they're not doing that shit for free. And they damn sure ain't doing it for fun. But
they're not making what they're making. I mean, they're not making $1 million every single year. I mean,
they might be because they have tithing requirements in that. From my understanding, the AUB has tithing requirements.
Oh, do they?
Technically, if Cody was making $1 million a year, he's supposed to be giving up 10%.
Good God. How many people are in the AUB? Good Lord.
His AUB is not small. The AUB covers multiple states. Like that's not a small organization. It's
So
not
it all
20 guys.
goes to the leader.
Well, it goes to the organization, and he controls the purse strings.
That's crazy. And then Melanie's mom, they're not even letting her have her house. She's lived in for 50 fucking years. And
Right.
oh my God. Oh, this
Well, I
makes
mean,
me more mad.
that's also part of the like when push comes down to shove. Now I have to let you go. I gotta jump to some of the other callers, but
I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. When push comes down to shove, it's very spirited conversation. I love it. When push comes down to shove, this is one of the things that I talked about before when we talk about polygamy, because we do all this work to try to deconstruct polygamy and talk about it. But at the end of the day, Cody benefits from the fact that he sat there and said that I know you guys believe that this is what polygamy is about. I'm not like that. I don't make those kinds of decisions. This puts me in mind of people. Anytime you talk about a social issue or whatever, somebody will retort and say, well, that's not the way I was raised. I don't believe that. At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter what you believe, because the system is the system. It doesn't matter that Cody thought he was going to treat his wives fairly, that he was going to seek their opinions, that he was going to take care of them if they decided to leave. At the end of the day, Cody used and pulled on the levers which were existing for him within
Yes.
the AUB institution. So when the women left, he turned around and said, nope, my money. Same thing with Mel's dad to his mom. When Mel's mom decided she no longer wanted to participate in that relationship, he could have been the most caring, generous person who said he's always going to take care of her. But the second she decided to leave, he used the levers of that organization and institution to keep her away from money, keep her out of the house that she had lived in for 50 years. And it doesn't matter what your opinion is if the levers are there. If the institutions are there and the system is doing what it's designed to do, it doesn't matter how you feel about it.
But Christine has said, I think it was Christine, has said that she and Cody hasn't been a member of that church for years whenever she left. And so they weren't even a member of it. And he's still using those tools or whatever you call it to be able to do whatever he's doing. All I'm saying is it's a performance. That's my thing of all of them. My statement at the end here. And it's a statement. And they're all lying. They're not. If they want to keep the show going, tell the fucking truth. Just
well,
tell
they can't
us.
tell the truth, because the truth is,
okay, then stop it, because we're going to see right through it.
The truth is, you wouldn't buy the truth, because the truth is, none of these people have anything to do with each other. There's zero reason why any of them contact or talk to each other.
No, I get that. I understand that. They don't now, but whenever the show started, you said 2010?
No.
It's 2026.
Right.
Tell us. Mary, like I said, Mary has said, and she said recently that she was deconstructing before the show started, and she wasn't wearing her garments, but she had her freaking garments with her tank tops and her long johns on underneath them. You know what I mean? It was a lie. It was all a lie.
Right.
Just
well, I mean, it was a lie to tell the show, but at the end of the day, like I said, I mean, if we want them to tell the truth, there is no truth for them to tell, because there's no story there. Like, there's nothing. The reason why they don't have anything to say, the reason why we don't have, like, right now, they should be running promos on what the upcoming season is going to be about. The reason why they don't do that is because the show is about, like, this is Seinfeld. The show is about nothing. Like,
Seinfeld was my favorite show, well, between that and Breaking Bad of all time. I mean, I get it. It is of nothing. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. Go, James.
No, I'm just saying, like, the show doesn't have a point. There are no stakes. Like, so if Cody came in and said and cussed Christine ass out tomorrow, what difference does it make?
But James, it is a matter for us. That's what we want. We want to know.
Know what, though? Like what are we going to discover? I mean, I guess maybe that's my bigger question. I gotta let you go. But what are we going to what new information are we going to discover from the show?
We want, okay, for me, it's like Mary. Okay. Was she the one that was like, oh, Robin, blah, blah, blah. Tell us the truth. Tell us the truth. I don't want to hear it from Robin, like, oh, well, I saw you in an electricity shot through my body. Whatever the hell she said. That was Christine's story. Okay. And then I think I heard on your show not too long ago where people were like, well, they were talking about how Robin was like 12 years old and Cody saw her. That's new to me. I was like, oh, whoa, was it? And Melody's even said, she's seen her at these different places. And again, I'm not putting it all together because I just kind of listen to it whenever I'm doing stuff. And I'm like, whoa, really? And I just feel like just bring it all to a fruition, but they're not going to do it. They can't do it because it makes them look horrible. Do you feel like it makes them look horrible?
Well, I think that at this point, it doesn't matter. Like, it's like when they argued about like how they came into the family. Like it's been 16 years since they've been on air. They've been together for 30 years. We're talking about instances and situations that happened 35, almost 40 years ago. Yeah. It doesn't matter how they came into the family. I don't really care anymore. It's something for them to talk about because they have nothing else to talk about.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, they're not talking about it. It's like hidden things because I don't feel like they can say it because they were performing,
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, you don't want to tell you a lie, but thank you so much for calling in, T. Boyle. I appreciate you.
I'm so sorry that I rambled.
No, it's fun. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate you.
Love you, James.
All right. Have a great night.
You too.
All right. Got T. Boyle in the house. Lively conversation. Going to jump to Linda. What's going on, Linda? How you doing?
Already? You jumping to me? I'm good and you, darling. What's shaking?
Not much.
You caught me by surprise. I got home from my exercise class. I had a Zoom call. I'm sitting here and all of a sudden I saw the, I'm going through all my mail and then I saw the reminder like, oh my God, it's Wednesday. He's having the show. So,
yeah, I missed it yesterday, but yeah.
That's cool beans. So I was reading around and I had meant to say it last week, but we were doing something different and I forgot it. So have you noticed that now all the content creators are back to talking about sister wives after you announced you weren't going to keep covering it? I know I'm not the only, because I got notifications that I got rid of. Like I don't get, the only notification I'm supposed to get is yours. Everybody else, like I just browsed, like I took off all the notification. Why? My take on oh my God, Sarah came on, and then the other one, I'm blanking out over here. Okay, now I sound drunk. The other, I'm telling you, the other without a crystal ball. Her thing came on and then Sarah, but I don't know which of the two that I was just reading the comments, not so much what they said. And there was a woman who stated in the comments that she was a Mormon. And she said that it was best that Cody went to the AUB because he was not Mormon husband material. He had no education. He had no prospects for a job. You could tell that he was not going to be a good father, and he was not good looking by Mormon men's standards. And I just busted out laughing. I thought I screenshot it because I was just going to be that snarky and put it on our Facebook page. But I'm like, nah, let me just leave this for a talk. But then I started thinking about it. And what she said is right, because he never supported any of his 4 wives. Because Robin is supported by the OG3. His jobs were never a job where he would have to answer to someone. It was always this independent salesman thing, which says a lot about his personality, that he doesn't work well with others, which is what this woman meant, that he's not a community type of individual. Like he would not work well within a community.
Mm.
And I think he showed that. And I was like, hot damn. So I was wondering why Wynn did what he did. And I think here someone wrote here in the comments, well, you know, Cody was the and he wasn't the youngest one though. Cody is what is he? Is he the middle child? Do you remember?
But he has so many kids. Like these people have like tons of kids. So
No, Wynn, but he was just like one of six because Wynn just had two wives, right? He
no,
didn't
he
have
had
any.
3 wives.
Oh, he had three.
Yeah, because one of them didn't want to be on the show.
Oh, dang, I didn't know. I know it was his mom and then Janelle's mom, who he didn't have kids with because she was already older. So he had three.
Right.
All right. Oh, I did not know that. So I think the apple don't fall far from the tree because Wynn was another one who converted, and I think it's the same thing. It is just an excuse for these men to have all these women to fuck around how much as they want to, and they hide it behind the guise of religion. Now, to speak to the other, to give the other caller some proof, I think what it is, the way she was speaking is the way, like, I kind of screamed in my head sometimes when I sat down. I'm like, you wasted so many hours and so many years on these pieces of shit. You got caught for a fool because they were all liars. And what is happening now is like what I said, when everyone is saying all these tell-alls are a lot of nothing. No, it's not. The truth was coming up to the surface. But the bottom line is, if we want to cut their little pipeline, don't watch season 21. Watch it like on a YouTube where it's not going to be counted. Watch what the content creators put in the snippets. Definitely put a ding in their money so we could watch Cody and Robin burn quicker.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. And the OG3, get your shit together, ladies, because nobody wants your counseling. Your farm may or may not succeed. With Mary, I hope she gets her event space going because she changed it from a B&B to an event space. Get it together. I hope you don't go to the Plexus or anything else. And I ain't cruising with Christine. I will be cruising with Donny Osmond before I cruise with Christine. And he's my only favorite Mormon, okay? Because you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to manage. But as far as, just to get back on topic, there's nothing they can do to make this right. I really don't think there is anything they could do. I don't think they could coerce the children to come out and say anything. And right now, McKelty is doing a rewatch of the old seasons. I'm not on her Patreon and I refuse to pay her. So whatever contact creator that puts the snippets of what she says, because I don't want their narrative, I want to hear what she says. I got an earful yesterday when I was coming back from St. Patrick's Day karaoke. I don't know if it was Crystal Ball or if it was Reality Squad, but they put good chunks of McKelty's Patreon, and it was the season for when the young ladies that were telling their story about how they were mistreated in polygamy, and they're telling their story, and Robin is interrupting them and chastising them. And McKelty is going crazy, like, how could she be so cruel? How could she not be compassionate? How could she whatever? And then she's going on and she put them all on blast, James. She's like, none of them were working. None of them were talking to each other. And that was from the time we lived in Lehigh. And I was like, well, go on, girl, sing it. But that's what I want McKelty to talk about when she's being interviewed. I don't want to hear this nicey, this walking on eggshells. Come in and spit out the truth. So, cynical me, I don't know if she's doing that to be relevant because everyone is looking at the tide. Everyone is looking at, no one is giving grace to the OG3, and it's not all about the Kelly and the Cody and Robin hatred. It's about the fact that they took all of us from fools from day one. They walked in there because they were probably wanted to leave because, as from what McKelty is saying, they all practically had one foot out the door. Mary and Christine. The only one was Janelle. Janelle is the only one because she always did her own thing because she was financially independent. She's the one that would get the good paying jobs. The other two were ready to leave. There was no real relationship, but she kind of went off on Robin because she acted shocked. Like, I don't know if it's a lie because now I look at all of them as liars. I think it's like familiar with them. It must be in their bloodline. But she sounded genuinely shocked, like from what she saw and her reactions. So, like I said, I'm not doing the Patreon, but that would be something just to keep an eye on because you know how I want to get to the truth. Because actually, if this was really factual, if this was like a real reality show, like from back in the days before they tried to, stage things and whatever, it would have ended upon Garrison's suicide. It possibly would have ended when Truly almost died. Don't you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that like the show, if it wasn't just for the money, I think the show out of decency would have ended a while ago, maybe after season 18. Because after season 18, from season 19, 20, and moving forward, they don't really have anything to talk about because they're not willing to share, which is fine. But if you're not willing to share anything, you don't want to really discuss anything. There's no point in you being on TV.
I don't think it's fine if you don't want to share. If you signed up to do a reality show, then
But
do
that's
the
what I'm saying.
reality show.
If
Do the
if you don't want to share, then that's fine. Just don't do the show. Don't
exactly.
take the money. Don't take the don't be on TV on Sunday. Just say, you know what? We've run we've run our little ditty or whatever, and we're done with it now. We're deciding to move on. And I wouldn't be mad at them. Like, okay, cool. You had your run. You realized that, especially if you're Christine and you have a man that you're in love with, David, you're trying to keep that relationship. Get the hell off of reality shows.
Exactly. And now David is a part of this. So I'm like looking at them all. You're just a bunch of grifters. Plain and simple. You're all just a bunch of grifters. Because once that kid died, that should have been the end of it. No one should have been on at all. I mean, the fact that Truly almost died, and you know what? Just to touch on that, like I was thinking about that. I'm wondering if they played that up more than what it was just to get us interested, like just to keep us there, like, ooh, one of the kids almost got hurt. Because that's like the first time one of the kids almost got hurt because Dayton's near fatal accident, it wasn't televised. Obviously, I guess it didn't happen during filming, but they sure covered it up pretty quick. They made it seem like he was out with friends and he was out with Cody. And that was for something for TLC to say, like, you know what? Maybe we need to like try to end this because this Cody character is not father material.
Right.
And to this day,
I think that they didn't cover it because at the time, Preston didn't want him on the show anyway. And so he just ran his kid through a damn meat grinder.
Lord
And
have mercy.
and it showed that, he might be a negligent parent. So that just gives steam to Preston being able to say, look, I don't want my kids on the show.
Yeah, like I don't know what happened to Preston. Like I know he was sick. He supposedly had some sort of blood cancer or whatever. I don't know how the hell they cornered that man to sign over his parental rights. I mean, that just is like beyond me. I mean, I know Robin is demonic in her manipulation, but she really just left this guy financially done. So he probably couldn't even afford a lawyer to try to even fight this. That's another one I would love to hear his story. I would love to hear his story more than anybody else's.
Right.
That's the interview. I'm trying to get that interview for you, James. I'm trying to find out where this man is. I'm not gonna lie. Because then once I hear like if that comes out, like that would be the end of Sister Wives. That would be the end of all this bullshit. And maybe after that, the authorities might look into this fool, and we'll see people go to jail and lose everything. And then I'll be happy because I'm that petty bitch. But yeah, like that's my story, Morning Glory. I think that's all the little tidbits I had for you. But I know you don't look at the Facebook page.
I do.
Okay. Did you see the one I posted when he did the staring contest again with Suki?
Yeah.
This time I muted it and I focused on his eyes, as black as they went, and I'm like, yep, this man is capable of great acts of violence. There's just no way they're going to convince me that this man never put hands on them. Let me circle back. Mary as the villain. Now, all of a sudden, they're deconstructing how Mary was portrayed. So remember you had said once, when there's a story, you have to have the good guys, the bad guys, the villain, and they were trying to switch it to Janelle. The fact that Mary was the villain from the beginning, I don't know if that's something she signed up for reluctantly, because you're not going to tell. Okay, so here's the one thing I'm going to ask before I continue rambling, and I want to hear your point on this. Okay, we know that the marriage was falling apart. They didn't have a pot to piss in. They were probably going to lose the window they were going to throw it out of. Christine is pushing for this show. They got the show. They leave Cody at the helm. And they had to come up with all of these stories. Who's going to be the good guy? Who's going to be the sympathetic? Who's going to be the bad guy? But with Mary being the bad guy, didn't sometimes it just didn't make sense?
Well, I think that because my initial premise was the OG3 were always supposed to be the bad guys. And with Mary being the first wife, especially when you talk to women who might be more sympathetic towards Mary, the fact that they shifted it, like the blame of this new wife coming into Mary, through Mary, it put her right in the hot seat. Like, I think that's the initial part that turned people away from Mary, was that they blamed Mary for Robin coming into the family. They laid that directly at her feet. And I think that that's what opened it up, because Mary, in and of herself, I don't think any of the OG3 are really villainous in the first glance of their characters and their situation. If I was with somebody, whether I have 2 or 3, guys who are in the situation with me or not, if I'm in a relationship with my wife and I have 2 brother husbands and everything is going good, and then all of a sudden we bring a young stud into the house, and young Buckman is in there tearing her ass up, and he's spending all the time and all the money and resources, then I'm going to feel a certain kind of way about it. And I think my character would be sympathetic. But if I went out and found this guy and I brought him home and he did all these things, then it would be my fault. And I think that's how people looked at Mary. And Mary has also been a person who's been very shut off. She's been very quiet and she's been very shy, and nobody trusts somebody who don't say nothing.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So I think it was a lot of things that kind of led to her being a target. But I don't think she did anything. Like, in fairness to Mary, I don't think Mary ever really did anything that people would just look at her and be like, yeah, she's just evil and wicked.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So that's it. I'm gonna stop babbling and give everybody else a chance. But that's just the thing. Everything was all staged. We know it, and I think we're just getting it out of our damn system. But you know me, my petty ass is sitting on the side waiting for justice, because
I'll go on record and say this. I 100% agree with you on the fact that, like, I understand that a lot of people are looking forward towards the end of days with Robin and Cody's relationship sunsetting. But again, I 100% agree with what you said. I've said the same shit myself. Their relationship will never stop until this show stops. And this show will never stop as long as people watch it.
Yep.
Like, so the longer we watch it, the longer we keep a relationship alive. Like, that's just, it's a very I would say it's a symbiotic.
It is symbiotic.
Really.
Yeah, it is. So what we got to do is we just, when we talk about it, we just talk about all, the reality of it. And it's just one big negative blob on humanity. We're
Right,
never going to get to the truth unless somebody on the inside spills their guts.
right, right.
And I'm gonna reiterate what your wife said. Keep your ideas to yourself, because you notice all of a sudden no one was talking about sister wives. You said you were gonna stop, and all of a sudden everybody and their mother is exploding about sister wives and picking up on little things, because now they're getting their information from Mel. There comes the stories about, and she's saying probably Robin knew him when she was 12. It's all probable. They just went off on this weird ass tangent. And I'm not going to lie, I'm looking at them with a side eye too. So,
Well,
uh,
I'll say this. I think that if, me meeting a 12-year-old and, in a group of 12-year-olds, maybe I might notice somebody, but I'm not looking at them unless there's some deviance.
excuse me, you're a
Or,
decent man, and I don't think you have that deviance in you. So do not compare yourself with that piece of shit. Okay. So,
I don't know, but I don't know if Cody was in there with like a bunch of 12-year-olds. Yeah, guys, like we all, you know what I mean? If Robin was there, I don't think Cody would have been paying enough attention to Robin at that time. Like, I don't think it just kind of worked itself out because of the way things worked out. But I don't think it was like, I don't think it's as much as folks are kind of putting it into. Like,
probably
you know what I
not.
mean?
I'll agree with you on that. But there was, how they go back on the snippets where he said he should have waited. So who was he
Yeah.
waiting for Robin to come of age before she married her first husband? Little does she know she was just going after the names. But all right, I'm
Right.
gonna be quiet because you got like about 3-4 people waiting. But that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
All right.
Surprise,
Thank you, Linda.
surprise. Bye.
Appreciate it.
Later.
All right. Linda coming in. We're gonna go Daisy, then we'll go Karma Kitties because Daisy called in. But uh give give Linda a little something, something. Yeah, that's Cody. Maybe I'm hoping against hope, because it would take it to another level if Cody was doing child ministry and he was looking for a date amongst like people who are like 12, 13 years old. Like that's too far. That would be too far. So maybe just for my own mental health, I'm just kind of blowing it off that, Cody probably wasn't looking at, because if I find out that that's the case, holy smokes. I mean, I'll even go like shit. I'm gonna even say it. Like if I find out that Cody was scoping Robin at 12, 13 years old, I can't watch the show no more. I can't. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's a bridge too far for me. It's just a bridge too far. But let's go to Daisy Reyes. Hear what she got to say. Daisy, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, James.
How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. Glad to hear from you.
Right on, right on. I finally got the fucking stomach to say, what I said on my speak pipe that one time. One point that I really want to like hammer down is I can't stand how hypocritical these bitches get once they get held accountable for some shady shit they did on fucking screen, and they want to act like they're the moral arbiters of life and of earth. And it's just like, yo, where's that morality when it comes to preventing young women from wasting their life in this patriarchal cult? Uh,
Mm.
Where's the morality when one of your children almost dies because of negligence? They refuse to actually look at that issue for what it even was. So that's why I can't stand the bitches, and I didn't even want to say nothing about them for a long ass time because I'm just like, yo, you are some goofy assholes, allegedly. So what are your thoughts on that, James?
Well, because I'll say this. I think that when you propagate yourself as an example of a thing, and then you find out whether through your own volition or just the way things work out, that the thing that you've associated yourself with is extremely negative, and not only negative but damaging to other people. I think because you not only supported it, but you endorsed it, and you became basically a spokesperson and a standard bearer for that thing. I think you owe it to the people whom they all know that people look up to them. They all know that they have people who follow them and look to them for advice, for guidance, for inspiration. And there is a responsibility when it comes to that. So when you have that power and you have that ability, I think you also have the responsibility to the people who are entrusting you with that to come out and say, like, look, I tried this polygamy thing. I was a fool, or I was doing it for the money, but I don't recommend this for anybody. I don't live my life like this. This is not the move, whatever you got to say. Like, I think that's the part that I'm looking for.
Yo, James, and ain't that a bitch that for $1 these hoes will preach some new age bullshit, some self-help shit instead of actually doing some shit that'll help the community that they're from and they said they're a victim of?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another thing. Like, cause and that maybe that's that's a good point. Cause that might have been my turning point. Even as I thought about it, one of the things that bothered me was the fact that you have people like, it's one thing for you to say, I want to help folks, and you try your best to help folks as best you can. It's another thing that you say, I want to help folks, but I want to get paid to do it. And I want to make sure that I'm being taken care of financially. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get paid and you shouldn't, if you're doing something and there's a value to it, you're taking your time, energy, and effort. I appreciate that fact. I understand business and everything else. But I think that there is enough room where they could give help to people without necessarily tying a price tag to it. Like every piece of advice you give shouldn't have to be tied to you selling a plan or a weekend or an event.
See, and
I
these
mean,
people lack fucking self-awareness, James, because it's like, yo, if you weren't chasing a motherfucking dollar, you would sit there and be like, maybe these people want to see me link up with my auntie and tell her that she was right all along. Or maybe I should go to these events and tell them, yo, it's some bullshit. Don't you dare hitch your wagon to this shit.
yeah, yeah, because it feels like, and maybe it's colored for me because of their involvement with the MLMs, because that's what it feels like. And again, it
Right.
falls to a lot of the I do this because I want to take care of my family. But what about the people who are following you? What about their families? Like, what about your downlines families? The people that you're encouraging, like, you guys just got to work harder. And if you're not making no money, that's because you're failing. The system's not failing. You're not following the instructions. So I want you to have 50 meetings and try to get as many signups as you can so you could put money in my pocket. Meanwhile, you're going broke. And if you're taking that approach, yeah, you're making money and you're taking care of your family, but you're doing it at the expense of somebody else's. And that's kind of where, like, the whole polygamy, like, you guys got rich off of selling sister wives and polygamy. So why not go back and say, like, guys, look, I made a mistake. This is what I did wrong. These are my, these are bad decisions I made. Please don't do this because it's not worth it. Because again, it's not the people, like, and I want to make it a very clear. I don't think it's the people involved. I don't think it's Cody. I don't think it's Robin. I don't think it's the OG3. I don't think it's the head of the AUB church now. I think it's the institution. The institution itself is the problem. The system is the problem. Because when these people can enforce or not enforce whatever rule they want, but when it comes time for them to get what they want, all they have to do is reach back and pull the lever that's already available to them. Do you understand what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
when Cody left the wives or whatever, and he decided he was going to go crazy and lie to them and try to take all their property and money and stuff, the one thing I
Right.
never heard was anybody from the AUB come out and say, especially in leadership, and say, what's this fool doing? This ain't how we do shit in polygamy. This is bullshit.
Right.
This ain't how we run things. This is antithetical to the teachings of how we do polygamy. When
But they low-key know it is.
huh?
But they know low-key that it was a fraternity and it's a patriarchal thing, and
Oh
they
yeah,
know the leverage that they have as men.
absolutely. Because they make it out like bandits. That's why nobody said shit. Because Cody did exactly what he was supposed to do under the system that they provided. He
Right.
was making the system work for him. And that's
Right.
what it was. Like, we all could sit around and be like, oh, this is antithetical to what he said the whole time, that he was going to take care of them if they decided to leave. He was going to buy them a house down the street and pay them child support and make sure they had enough money. This is what he always told us. Yeah, that's the bullshit he said, but that's not in the system. That's not in the institution that he was a part of. And in fact, the institution and the system that he was a part of does the exact opposite. It makes sure that the men are able to centralize and control all funds and money when the wives leave. And it centralizes the power within the guys. And that's why nobody had a surprise face when Cody decided to bounce out.
See, this is why I don't understand why people spend so much fucking time trying to break down and they're supposed to have their kingdom. And when they get up there, it's gonna go this way and that way. It's like, yo, Cody don't believe in none of that shit. This shit just serves him fine with the bullshit. Like, I really don't think he has a genuine faith in the religion.
No. Well, I'll say it this way. The faith serves him. So I think because it served and it did what it was supposed to do, it's easy to believe in something that's supporting you and telling you what you want to hear. You know what I mean? Because the faith tells him that he's right. The faith tells him that these women are the ones wrong. You know what I mean? And they don't have a right to leave. How dare they leave you, Cody? Because you're the master of the universe. You're right about that. It's ridiculous,
Yeah, that's the shit too. They're surprised he's a narcissist, but y'all made him the head of the kingdom in heaven and worship him. Ain't that a bitch?
Right. Yeah. Surprise. Surprise this guy thinks the universe rises set to crack his ass because he's God. So of course, I can't believe he's acting like this. I can't believe he wouldn't be acting like this. It would be crazier to me if he wasn't acting like this. How about that?
Yeah, but that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I just wanted to highlight that I feel like there could be a lot more done for the young women who were raised in this and, have to face the ills of, this sect in this cult and how when they get caught up being shady or whatever, they're quick to play the moral and y'all better not hurt us and y'all better not get in the comments talking shit. And it's just like, yo, why don't you talk about these young women that is going through hell with this? So I just wanted to illustrate that point.
No, I appreciate that. And I also appreciate the fact that, because that's where I'm at, because we're on that same page. Because when rubber meets the road, the one thing I will say is that not only by supporting this did you uplift the patriarchy of polygamy, but you also, whether willing or unwilling, covered for the crimes that were being perpetrated against these young ladies, because you normalized the thing and said that no, all these evil things that you hear about from Warren Jeffs, FLDS, and all that doesn't occur with the rest of us. That's just a small group of people. So it's the equivalent of if you say that a neighborhood is bad and you say that, in that, that neighborhood ghetto is hell and is dangerous, this, that, and other, and you look at the neighborhood and be like, no, that's only maybe like a bad neighborhood. If we want to be honest, a bad neighborhood is only about 2% of the people in there are doing the wrong thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like 50% of the people out there committing crimes. That would be completely lawless and uncontrollable.
Right.
It's only like 2% of the people. So it's a distinct minority of the people. But when you look at these polygamous institutions, they are supported, and it's not 2%. You understand what I mean? It's not a small group of people who are doing
right.
When you make it normalized, you make it seem like, oh, it's just one or two people doing the wrong thing.
Right.
The system is set up to screw these people. And you guys told us that the system was working and it was doing the right thing. But there are too many people who are suffering under this system for this system to actually be working and doing the right thing. And there are people who are being lost in the system because they're not being addressed, because we sit there and watch shows like Sister Wives and all this. And it seems like, oh, the biggest problem they have is just that Cody is selfish.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And see, that goes into a really good point that I also wanted to illustrate, is that it takes a lot of women to facilitate this. And I think the women are a good example of that. And if they were accountable, they could say, yo, us looking over shit and trying to paint an optimistic image of stuff also kind of fed into the cycle of this cult.
Right. Yeah, because the one biggest thing, whether it's Sister Wives, Seeking Sister Wives, or any of these shows that talk about polygamy, technically, if you look at prostitution, same thing. The biggest advocate you have for defending, adult content. The biggest advocate you have for defending these outlets is always going to be from the voices of the victims, the people who
Isn't
are
that
seen as
sad?
the victims. So it's one thing if Cody gets up and says, yeah, women are treated equally and fairly in polygamy and they have just as many rights as men. That doesn't mean shit. If you have the wives come out and say, we have all the power, we get to make all the decisions, he doesn't get to do anything without my permission. Now you've taken the power from the perpetrator, invested it in the victim, and the victim is justifying the negative behavior. And so who am I to
Yeah,
tell a
that's that
victim they're
Stockholm,
not a
huh?
victim? Yeah. Yeah. It's like, who am I to tell a victim they're not a victim?
That's
You know
that
what I mean?
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. They just twist your ass up. You know what I mean? So that's why they spent the first, if you look at the first, and that's how I knew the show was bullshit. But if you look at the first 3 seasons, that's what they spent all their time doing. I remember Cody was sitting on the couch talking about, yeah, when it comes to the house, they act like I'm the patriarch and this big nasty man. I don't get to tell these women what to do. I don't even really get to
Yep.
tell the kids what to do. That was in
Yep.
the first season
Lying
when
his
he was
ass
doing the
off.
interview. Yeah. And like it made it sound like Cody was just this powerless dude and these women are just running all over him. But that's not the case. And you can see that it wasn't the case when he decided to spend all his time over at Robin's house and take all the resources. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they could say, yo, we went through financial abuse. Like you saw when Cody did this, and that. Here's my homegirl. She also was financially abused. Like, it's crazy that they think they gotta be fake friends with each other to create a show of substance.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, because
anyway, James, I'm gonna let you get to Carmel.
all right. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Daisy. I appreciate you. Always
Of
a pleasure
course.
talking to you.
Thanks, James. Likewise. Hey Caramel. Hey Linda. Hey Jody. Hey Kathy. Hey Betty. Okay, goodbye.
All right, I had to get a shout outs. I got you.
All right, bye.
Have a good night. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. Daisy Reyes in the house. Next up, we got our Caramel Cuties. What's going on, Caramel Cuties? How you doing? Uh-oh. Next up, we got our Caramel Cuties.
All right, James. I don't know if you can hear me. My iPad keeps tripping, so it seems like the volume goes in and out when it chooses to. Like I barely heard Daisy. So if you can hear me, can you say something?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. They trying to stop your messaging, Caramel Cuties. Don't let it work. Don't let it happen.
Okay. Yeah, they're trying to stop my shine some kind of way. I don't understand. But um when it comes to the show, because I came late and not necessarily knowing what the topic of conversation was for tonight. So I kind of jumped in a little late, but I'm to the party now. Uh I'm going to start with saying I can't stand none of them at this point. Even my favorites who were my favorites at one point in time, I can't even say that they truly my favorites anymore because they irritate me.
Hmm.
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. Did I mess it up?
No, you're good.
Can you hear me? I
Yes.
don't know what happened. Did I mess it up? You know, I'm gonna go out and come back in on my phone. So I'll be right
Okay.
back.
All right. All right. She will be having some technical difficulties. Sounds like I could hear her. She couldn't hear me. What's this? I have huge respect for Mel and Corey. I'm always lost for words when they talk about the abuse. I feel guilty that mine was a loving family, but Corey and I were farm kids. I miss the farm now. Hmm. Carmel Cutie's back in the house. What's going on?
Okay, I don't necessarily know what the hell happened, but it just like during Daisy was talking, my iPad just went completely blank. And thank God I'm on YouTube on my phone so I can see the chat. But I couldn't hear nothing. So I was just like, what the hell? And I didn't want to have to keep turning my phone up to hear if you respond, and then it's gonna be an echo. So I was like, F it, I'll go out and come back in. Anywho,
You back now.
I'm back. You know, the Kremlins try to get me, I guess, after being at being in court all day. My stuff is like, look here, we're gonna play with you this afternoon. I don't know. The joys of jury duty, right?
All right.
Yeah, they all irritate me now. Like, ain't nobody cruising with Christine. I want to say so bad that they all need to just get real fucking jobs, but at this point, like, can you imagine rolling up to your local Chick-fil-A and Mary pops out the window like, "Can I take your order?" Like, they just don't seem like the type that would even have real jobs at this point. So I think we just need to let it go. Mormon culture is of the MLMs, and I think that they're just embedded in that, and that's just what's going to stay with them until the end of time. I don't know. I definitely don't know nobody who's going to the randomest cities in Utah to rent Airbnbs. Like, these aren't even destination places that people be like, yeah, let's just go to Hurricane Utah. Who the fuck goes there? You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's just as bad as saying you want to go to Parowan and use Mary's event space. I just, whatever. But if we're gonna do a little blast from the past, today, actually, I started seeing this content creator's video, which got me remembering, like, oh, I think I did see the notification pop up that you were live. But they were saying how supposedly McKelty on her Patreon talked about how she went to go see the family therapist that Christine had took her or whatever else. And it got me thinking, and not that I'm going to have one of these moments, because again, I fully feel like the children should always be protected, right? Certain things need to stay private. Just because mom and dad want to be on a reality show doesn't mean the children signed up for that said reality show. But like, the fact that your kids are even in therapy, never addressed. Like, these are, like Christine said in her book, she had surgery. Why the fuck did we not know this? You get what I'm saying? Like, we knew Mary messed her knee up, but did I miss a section of the show where Christine messed her leg up and had to have surgery to the point where she thought she was addicted to opioids? Like, it's chunks that are missing that they're trying to plug back in later, as if the plug-in even matters at this point. Or am I looking at this wrong?
No. I mean, I think that because they lack such storylines, that they're trying to piece together things. And here's the thing. They're piecing together things that don't mean anything because it's safe to talk about. Like the injury that Christine had and her subsequent potential addiction to pain medication would have been extremely interesting, and it would have been extremely like it would have been, not to be a dick, but it would have been fantastic television.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now she's talking about it when it doesn't mean anything. Because if you're in recovery, you already went through it and you're talking about it in past tense, you already kind of know the outcome. It doesn't really mean as much now. You know, it's kind of like I was saying earlier, we were talking about the whole catfish thing. The catfish thing, I get it, it's interesting, and I'm not trying to back talk anybody, but the catfish thing is interesting to a point, but it's not, it's 15, like it's been like 10 years since the catfish thing happened. And it's like there's not much I could say about it, not really a whole lot I could feel about it, because I already know what happened. Even if I take the worst possible take from Mary, she went out, she grinded on this dude, she banged him, she did all kinds of crazy stuff, got tossed up, flipped up, rub it down, the whole nine. She did all kinds of crazy stuff. Her and Cody are no longer together. So what am I, you know what I mean? What am I really mad about? Like, what am I talking about? It just,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, fine. She's a horrible person because she cheated. Boo hoo. But they're not together anymore. So who gives a shit? Like,
right.
hell, technically they, and like I said earlier, it's not even like they were in love and committed and their marriage was going great and she decided to step out. They had really no relationship to speak of. So she went out and got tossed up, on the side for a dude that she's barely with and in marriage name only. What am I mad
Hey,
about? And they
that was
bringing that
my
up last week.
argument. That
Yeah,
was, and everybody tried to put me in my place and say they were still spiritually married at the time. She still believed it. He said they were. No, they weren't married. He wasn't coming around. Like, he had been left her the hell alone. Well
right.
before, Leon went off to college. Like, call a spade a spade. Keep it real.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago. Like if I found out, like I'm just saying, like if I'm gonna put it in perspective, I've been with my wife longer than 10 years. But if I found out that the woman I was dating or a woman I was dating before I met my lady now, right? And I found out she was cheating on me, how
Hmm.
upset would I really be? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't even give a shit. Okay, she got away with it. I guess she got me because I don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me. Okay, yeah, you were cheating on me. Okay,
Right.
so you know what I mean? Ooh, I got you. Okay,
I
know.
know a couple in real life that they've now been together 29 years this June, let's just say, right? They've been together 29 years. Their oldest child is turning 28 in June, right?
Uh,
They legally got married about 6 years ago. And he believes so wholeheartedly that she definitely cheated around the time that they made their son, and refused to walk down the aisle until a DNA test was done on their child. And I'm like, back it up, dude. First and foremost, you have been daddy for 20 something years. Even if that test said he's not your son, that is still your son.
right,
And the fact that you waited this many years before you even walked down the aisle to make, like, let it go at this point. If she did cheat, she got away with it, keep it pushing. What would be the point? Y'all wasting money and time at this point.
right.
But I
Well,
guess some people can't let it go. Like, they can't just get over it. But
if you thought she
um
cheated and it bothers you, then you should have been out. Like,
that
'cause you
part.
can't let it go. Because that's my thing. Like the hardest part of cheating isn't just the affair itself, but if I found out my wife was cheating on me, the hardest part for me is I don't think I could let it go. So there's no point in us continuing because I'm going to be petty at some point, and I'm going to try to make you pay for the pain you caused me. So there's no reason for me to, like, it's just because it's gonna make you look bad, it's gonna make me look bad, and I'm gonna be
Hmm.
an asshole. So we might as well just go ahead,
Just walk away.
yeah,
You
roll
walk
this
away,
bad boy
Renee.
up because it's not gonna go good for nobody. I'm telling you, it's not gonna.
Right. At
Because I'm
least you
not
can be
letting it go.
honest. He said, I'm gonna be petty at some point.
Right?
So
Yeah,
just fuck it.
yeah, it's coming. You know what I mean? I know it's coming. It's gonna be a slick ass comment or something. Like I'm not gonna just take it on the chin. So
I feel it. I mean, I at this point, whether we get a season 21, season 20 extended, a look back, one extra talk back, whatever, another apology tour. I don't know what we have in store when it revolves in the sister wives realm.
right.
But I figured, fuck it, I'm gonna have fun with this. I came up with a little bit of my list, what I like to call, of questions that I would want answered in any upcoming season, and or tell all, tell
Mhm.
nothing. Because at this point, I feel like as much money as I've invested by watching the show and as much time as I've invested, even though nobody demanded that I watch it, nobody put a, to my head and made me watch it. I chose to, but I don't get that time back. So for my investment, fuck it, humor me, answer these questions, right? One, did Robin and or Cody ever pay Janelle back her 401k money that she invested in Robin's debt?
No.
And not outside of the money that she gave y'all for the deposit of the shit chateau, not any money she's put into Coyote Pass. So when Robin, like he told it, gave over her first check officially from the show, was that check written solely to Janelle for paying your debt off?
Yeah.
Like, these are the questions I would want to have answered, because anything else at this point, I genuinely just I don't care. I don't. Like, how much insurance was taken out? You get what I'm saying? Like, or better yet, ask it a different way. Why was it that Robin's kids got put on somebody's legal insurance plan, at least enough to get Dayton's eye fixed? But there was no legal insurance when it came to Maddie and her appendectomy, which, caveat, did that bill finally get paid off? Would
Yeah,
like to know
Janelle
that
paid
answer.
that was actually one of Janelle's bankruptcies.
Got it. Didn't know. See?
Yeah, that's how she declared bankruptcy, because she took responsibility for that.
Okay. Did Truly's bill get fully paid off?
Yep. Christine took responsibility for that.
How much did Cody contribute to any of those bills?
Yeah. I don't think he did. Like, I don't think it came out of the family fund or whatever. That's part of the reason why when Cody does the whole like, I get 50-50, 50-50 ideally would imply that Cody is contributing 100% of his money to all wives and sharing it equally. That he doesn't have like a private secret bank account to himself. He's given 100% of his money to all 5 wives. So each one of them basically gets 20% of all his assets. And at that point, I think he would be able to make the argument that he deserves some 50-50 split with each one of the wives. But if you have a secret bank account that you're using for yourself and your money is your money, then you don't get 50% of your wife's money because you just happen to be with her, standing next to her when she cashing her checks. You understand what I mean? Like, that's where, like that's what the root of when Cody starts preaching that 50-50 shit. That's why my head explodes every time he says it.
Yeah, that part. See, even but let's continue on that topic of 50-50. When is Mary filing to get access to his social security? Because she's definitely entitled to it. Like, this is the shit I want to know moving forward. Because all the rest of that I could care less about. I don't give a damn about Aurora dating old boy. I don't give a hoot and holla if they decide to get married and TLC's going to film it. I probably ain't even gonna watch it because I don't care.
Right.
Like, I'm to my point of annoyance when it comes to these folks, because it just doesn't make any sense why y'all went as long as you did. You were and I'm saying it at the same time in the back of my head, I'm answering my own damn question when I say it. Why would y'all stick around so long knowing that he's treated y'all like shit? He's treated y'all kids like shit. But then on the flip, well, they were born into that religion. That's what the religion said for them to do. They didn't know no better. They were young. Da 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 da. Whatever bullshit excuse they want to pull out of their rear end. By the time y'all got knee deep into them houses in Vegas, the fact that you came from this church, this group, all to me went out the window. Y'all lived in a city far away from the said church, far away from said indoctrination. Like, when they stopped showing us their church services, that's when I feel like all that shit is just no longer an excuse.
Right.
By then, I'm sure Google had plenty of resources. I'm sure by then YouTube was a goddamn thing. Y'all could have figured out how the hell to get out from under him and continue to raise your kids in peace. But you chose not to. And I mean, we all know the reason why. The money was too damn good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're making
y'all
that
like the money and the notoriety, I guess. I don't know. I just told a girlfriend the other day, all money ain't good money. I don't give a damn if the job is paying $40-$50 an hour. What you got to do to get that $40-$50 an hour ain't worth your sanity, ain't worth the peace, and it damn sure ain't worth, like, you know what I'm saying? All that's coming with it. All the money in the world, and I don't care how broke you might have grown up, You might have been. All the money in the world ain't worth what you had to sacrifice, what your children sacrificed, all for a paycheck. And it's not like you got the paycheck and 100% in entirety. You got a portion of what this man decided he was going to give you. You got a goddamn allowance.
And he winning the whole time.
That part.
I
don't know. Like, I know there's a lot of women that do stupid stuff for the D, right? Just like there's a few men that do stupid stuff for the female anatomy, because I can't think of another name for it other than what it's really called at the moment. But my grandma used to say, you can't be dumb all your life, baby. You're going to have to pick a struggle. You're going to have to pick a side. And I feel like, yeah, they're out of it now. But look how long it took Mary to finally throw up her damn hands. And I feel like she's still kind of teetering, because if Cody was overly sincere and probably apologized for being a dick to Mary's friends, Mary would take him back. Yeah. We all know Janelle would take him back. Only one I don't believe would ever take that man back is Christine. And David could kill off tomorrow or divorce Christine. I don't see her going back to Cody.
Yeah, I think it's too much under the bridge. I think it's too
much for her. But them other two, I definitely can see them doing a U-turn and heading back. Now, Janelle would have the most to lose, granted that she did. Because I don't see all of her kids and or Christine's kids fooling with Janelle in the capacity that they do now if she did return back to Cody. But Mary ain't got nothing to lose, because I don't think Leon would give a fuck either way.
It's just crazy. Like, I just think that at the end of the day, I think if Janelle, like like Janelle, because even with then, I think Janelle is going to do what Janelle do. And I think even with, because it explains a lot the way Maddie was looking at her when she was talking about like Cody apologizing and all that, and Maddie had that look on her face.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that explained to me that she knew that there's a possibility her mom might go back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Maddie was surprised. Like, okay, your dad said some nice shit to you. Okay, all right. You know, like it kind of had that feel to it. Like, all right, okay, all right, well, you do what you got to do. I already told you my position, so if you want to go back, you go back. But I don't know.
Tanya said Janelle is leaving the porch light on at the new house.
Yeah. On that back door.
Right. He already got a key. She mailed it to him, overnighted it.
All right. Well, I mean, you like my friend and my lover, so I'm gonna send you a copy of the key.
Yeah, I don't.
So if you ever,
I don't know. It doesn't take a lot for me to throw my fingers up and say I'm done with somebody. But in my 20s, I held on a lot longer. I stayed in, relationships, situationships way longer than I should have. I stayed in friendships way longer than I should have. I allowed family to run over me way more than I should have. In my 30s, I started having enlightenments, right?
Right.
And some of those were, if I were to die tomorrow, would any of these people pick up the phone and check on my kids? How many of those folks would actually get in the car and drive over to make sure my kids were okay? And even less of those people would, feed my kids, bathe my kids, or even take them in, because now they don't have a mama and their daddy ain't shit. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
And the more I sat down and would write these said names down, that list became shorter and shorter and shorter, to where it might have only been one or two names on the list that would get past simply calling and checking on my kids. And once I realized the role I played in their lives was not the role I got back out of them. So why do I need y'all around?
Yeah.
And that's when I just started. And it wasn't no big old thing. Like I said, in my 20s, I would go global nuclear. I would blow the fuck up, and everybody and their mama knew I was blowing up, right? Post it all over social media, let everybody know who I was mad at while I was mad at them. In my 30s, I just politely and quietly bowed out. And those that, might have gave a little bit of a damn, may, reach out after we hadn't talked in about 6 months to be like, hey, I realize we're no longer friends on social media. Like, what's going on? How are you doing? And I'd be like, yeah, I ain't feeling it no more.
Mm-hmm.
And I explained to them why. And just let them know, like, I don't hate you. It ain't no hard feelings. I don't fuck with you no more. I go my way, you go your way, and life will be grand. Keep it pushing. But in my 40s, I don't even give it a pinky toe full of energy. When I say I'm done with somebody, I'm done. And I walk the hell away. I don't even give no excuses. I don't even hold out long old conversations. Somebody asked me, oh, do you fool with James from My Take on Reality? And no. And that's it. No is a full and complete sentence and go on about my business.
No period. Yeah, right.
That's it. I ain't giving no explanations. I'm not saying a whole lot of nothing. But, some folks have to go through whatever it is that they need to go through. I just know no matter how we are supposedly connected, and in their case, that man is the father to your children, AKA your baby daddy. And I hate that saying, but that's pretty much what Cody is.
Right.
Outside of Truly, everybody else's kids are grown adults. If those children decide they want to have a relationship with their father, that's on them to leave that door open. You as their mother, it's no outside of Truly, it's no longer their control.
Right. Well, because even with Truly, because Truly's what, about 15, 16 years old now?
She
So,
should be about 15. Yeah, 15, 16.
yeah. So, I mean, even at this point, like with the innovation of phone, FaceTime, and all that, like Christine's involvement as far as like gatekeeping for Cody should be almost minimal. It should be minimalist. Because if he's so interested and they have a relationship where he could reach out, not saying they do, but he should have a relationship where he could reach out to Truly, or Truly could reach out to him, and there's no real hindrance in between them having conversations. The only time he would really have to liaise with Christine is when he's talking about pickup times, or times that, I want to come down and scoop her and bring her up to Arizona or whatever. Those are the only real times that he might have to liaise with her. But just having like daily conversations with her, or giving her advice, or, compliments, or showing up to her events, that's really, that's on him. That's his relationship to maintain. That shouldn't be like, that's not really heavily involving Christine. So even
Yeah.
then, it's kind of like, I just feel like it's like Cody has to step up. Like, you got to man the fuck up. Like, I don't know. Like, you got to man up and take responsibility. Like, it's not on your wife, your ex-wife, to try to corral and keep your relationship going. You got to maintain your relationship with your kids. And in that way, too, you don't have to worry about your wife or your ex-wife shit talking you. If you have a relationship with your kids, my kids know who I am. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I'm a part of their life. So it doesn't matter what my wife says about me, because my kids know me. You understand what I mean? So there's nothing
Mm-hmm.
my wife is going to be able to explain to my kids about me that my kids already don't know about me. And that's the way I like it. I don't ever want somebody to be able to come between me and my kids and be like, your dad did blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
and start explaining shit. So it's on him to have that relationship with Truly,
I mean, well, I did see something where it just said, where he had said, what do you say? Oh, something about the relationship he has with his kids is through like the wives, right? So basically
Yeah.
saying like it's on them to help him have a relationship with their kids. And I don't know why. as many times as I'd seen the episode, it never bothered me like it did when I seen that shit at like 4 o'clock in the morning last night or yesterday morning. And I was like, wait a minute. Even if you just had the most horrible wife, right? She didn't do shit right. She's always complaining, nagging, just a horrible person, dirty, don't keep the house clean, don't keep your kids clean. You mean to tell me your relationship with your children solely depend on her hyping you up for them kids?
Right.
I call bullshit. I don't know. As a parent, I've made a lot of mistakes in life, right? And the one thing I take massive pride on is the parent that I am today. And I am far from perfect. Trust and believe. But the two humans that I've helped raise and kept alive, bathed, fed, nurtured, mothered for 22 years on one end and 16 on the other, baby, I didn't fuck up. I didn't mess up. Like, I'm an amazing parent. But I always look at if the shoe was on the other foot, and let's just say they're raised with their dads, right?
Right.
Would I have been the deadbeat parent in their lives the way their fathers were? And I could still sit back because I never say never, right? Oh, never say what you would or wouldn't do until you're in that situation. One situation I can always say what I would never do is I would never be a fucking deadbeat parent. I don't care how many times, if I had to file court paperwork 100 times, guess what? I'm filing 110 because I'm going to take 2 or 3 extra times just to file it as an in case, right? In case the judge says no and denies it, and I got to wait 6 months to file it again, I'm already have it ready to roll. So on that 6-month date, I can run down and go file it. One thing I would never do is not show up for my kids. If I have to call, if I have to walk, beg, plead, be nice, be cordial, kiss. I don't kiss nobody ass, but if I had to kiss their father's ass just to be a part of my kids' lives, bend over so I could pucker up, because that's what I would have to do. Because the one thing they would never say is, I don't show up for my kids. I'm not there for my kids. I don't do nothing with my kids. I don't understand how you could demand these women have this many children for you and you dog them out every chance you get. You do the bare freaking minimum. And then when the shit hits the fan, you blame it on the women because you're a sorry ass individual and you didn't show up. Because we all see you can be that great dad because you are the Robbins kids. And 3 of them you aren't biologically connected to. Now, if he was a deadbeat to all 18 children, that's a different story. And I'll take it a step above that. The fact that Robin can sit back and see that he's dogged out those kids and still lay up next to his nasty, funky ass every night. Like you got the best prize in the world. It's some trifling shit to me.
Well, she's just excited because her kids are being taken care of, you know. So she's making it
I
happen.
still call bullshit. As a mother, though, I can't sit back and allow shit. As everybody knows, I'm going through it with my own brother and his wife right now over my 15-year-old niece. And I have not been a part of her life in 14 years. The cursing out that happened this morning, y'all would be shocked. No, you wouldn't, because y'all know my mouth at this point. So don't be shocked. because it happened. I lost my shit. And when one couldn't take accountability, I snapped and went the hell off. Because at the end of all discussion, that is a child that we are talking about, and the fact that as this child's parents, y'all have not only fucked up, you slack it, and it's not okay. You can't point the finger at nobody else without pointing it at yourself first. Because as a parent, I can't sit back and allow them to dog out their child, leave her out on the streets for dead, but yet trying to hype up the other three that still live at home. They keep going the way you go, and one of them may turn out just like their older sister, if not worse, because you're not changing your mindset, your thought process, and or your behavior as a parent. And that's a problem. I'm not a relative to just sit back and be like, that's their problem. I don't care. It ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't got nothing to do with my kids. You get what I'm saying? So there's no way I could be married to a man who's taking care of my kids above an abundance, but dogging out his own. There's nothing attractive about that. And if you, with your high moral compass, let's be real. God don't like ugly. And from a spiritual standpoint, Robin is so spiritual, and you know what I'm saying? She's above and beyond everybody else, the prophetess of the family. I don't know no religion that blesses people for dogging out their kids.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I may never get it. Maybe this one's not for me to fully understand or grasp.
Well, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how she squares the circle. But again, I think that Robin is merely looking at it from the perspective of, every man for theyself. Like, so when she came in, she's just trying to, she's trying to absorb as many resources as she can, and she doesn't care about the negative fallout from the other parents or the negative effects on other kids, because she's only concerned about herself, her kids, and her stuff.
Yeah, and that's sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad state of affairs. Either way, it'd be a sad state of affairs, because the truth of the matter is if we really take a step back, because of the way that everybody was so hyper focused on trying to take care of Cody and be a part of Cody's situation, the only people who really, really suffered unfairly and unjustly, 100% were the kids.
Yep, I agreed. And I'm not saying that like it's only Robin and Cody to blame, because Janelle, Christine, and I can't leave Leon out, even though I think Leon didn't start getting dogged out until Leon became Leon.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, Leon is still neglected by their father.
Right.
It doesn't matter what age, what gender, what pronoun you go by. Being dogged out by a parent hurts.
Well,
no matter how you look at it.
Something that, irrespective of people's political affiliations on it, the reality of it is that that's something that you can't help. If you have gender dysmorphia, it's something that you can't help. So being mad at her or being mad at them or making them feel a certain kind of way because of something that they can't help is a mind screw in and of itself, because they're trying their best to, like, because even before, I kind of had a feeling that something was going on when they were talking about early on. I mentioned it earlier about they were the only of all the teenage kids. Leon was the only one who was talking about doing polygamy 100%. And I got my spidey sense as soon as I heard that shit. My spidey sense was going off. Like, of course they want to do polygamy, because that way you don't have to focus on a husband. That's the short shot way to keep it. Marry somebody not really have to deal with them on any real level, and you get the benefit of saying like, look guys, clearly I'm not this way because I'm married, but then at the same time you don't have to do any of the stuff that you would have to do with a wife or a husband. And if we're going to keep it all the way a buck, in an ideal situation, maybe he'll get another wife who feels the same way that you feel.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
I
So
never thought about Leon's situation that way.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like first thing I heard when I heard them say that, I was like, uh-oh. I
Well,
know.
I mean, I kind of felt them vibes
Yeah.
well before, they came out the closet. And I was a little confused on how that would work, being that they were the only ones screaming, that they wanted sister wives. And then I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, because I mean, if you think about it, like you would at that point, you could just fulfill the basic requirements of being a dutiful wife. So he comes over every once in a while, kind of what I had me and my wife had a crash joke about color purple with Mister, jump on and
Mm-hmm.
do the Mister and do his business
Mm-hmm.
and do his thing. And then you have kids, so you have the benefit of being married, the benefit of having kids, but you're not trying really to be a wife. You just, you get it in name only in the appearances, which is very important in like the Utah area, especially with the LDS and other churches like that. Appearance is everything. So they're more interested in the appearance of things than the actual state of being of things. So you get the appearance, but you also get to live your life separate.
Yeah, but wouldn't it become a problem even to have kids, so to speak?
What do
Because
you
if
mean?
they were already questioning their sexuality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wanting to stay in the church school versus being out at public school. Obviously, there was a lot of confusion somewhere up in there. They may not have known how to express it within their own group, right? Within their church, their family. And it wasn't until they left and went to Utah and they broke away from the family and were able to explore and free themselves that they finally came back and said, "Well, I'm gay," right?
Right.
And then it wasn't until they moved away, weren't really on the show, when they transitioned into Leon.
Right.
But my
Well,
question is, as Mariah, I'll say it that way, say she enters a plural marriage as a wife, whether she's seeing her husband one day a week, one day every 9, 10 days, depending on how many other wives and whichever wife position she plays, she still would have to entertain having sex, making babies with her husband.
right.
So she was still battling her own sexuality, her own body, those type of issues. I think that would be a hard task for her to do.
Well, I mean, I would also use the reference point of because keeping in mind that like the whole revolution of the FL, or I'm a FLDS now, the LGBTQ plus movement
Hmm.
is still relatively a new movement, and they've experienced new acceptance within the last 15, maybe 20 years on the outside, maybe only 20 years on the outside. Because
Hmm.
prior to that, people would do this shit all the time. Get married, have kids, and then, take maybe a weekend or whatever to hang out with the boys or, go wrestling with the fellas.
Hmm.
Nikki Greco wrestling. Um, or the young ladies would organize a girls trip and they would go handle themselves that way. But it would always come back to the look of things where you would marry somebody whom you're not necessarily connected to, but is somebody whom you can partner with and have children with. And it wouldn't be like
Mhm.
the relations would be terrible. I mean, it just is what it is. Like if you're with somebody who's not excited about being with you, the relationship is going to be horrible. But she'll do what's necessary, and that's why I said, he basically gonna crawl on top of it, do the mister to take care of his
Mhm.
business, and then he rolls out. It's not gonna be, oh, come over and she got rose petals all over the place trying to seduce him. So I think that it would be something that you would struggle with. And then part of the reason why too, and that was another little ding ding for me, a red flag, not even a red flag, but it was just kind of a context clue for me when they said that when Leon first said that they didn't want to go to a public school, they wanted to stay in a church school. Because the last thing you want to do if you're in a compromised situation like that, where you feel like the thing you're trying to do is the wrong thing, is to be surrounded by temptation. As long as she
Mhm.
stayed in that church school, she wasn't ever going to run into somebody who was openly living that orientation.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But the
Yeah.
second, like, if I go to this public school, I'm gonna meet all kinds of people, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hold it back because
Understood.
you got people because you can't, especially now, like kids are, they'll come out and God bless them. Because when I was a kid, everybody was pretty much cookie cutter, you
Yeah.
know. But now, like the kids are like even my kids. I'd say that about my kids now. Like they have a sense of courage that I just didn't have when I was their age. Like my son, he'll wear like a Christmas time. This dude go to school wearing a damn Santa Claus hat. I never would have did some shit like that. Yeah, never
Right.
would I done that shit. Yeah, I mean, unless I like fighting, like
Right.
they approach life with no fear. Like these kids, like I've seen kids walk around with like half dresses on and fingernail polish and shit. Like never would I've seen that in school when I was a kid. You know what I
So
mean?
real quick, why did my niece? My son was real little. I might have told this before, but my niece is real sneaky. She got into the fingernail polish, and somehow or another, she had her fingernails and toes painted a bright red, a color we would never allow her to do. Like pinks and glitter, maybe, yeah, but bright red, hell no. Well, her mom had some blue, and she painted my son's toes blue.
Mm.
And he argued for about 3 days that it was okay that he had his toenails painted because blue was for boys. Even though I tried to explain to him, like, no, fingernail polish on your toes is not for boys, it's for girls. And he was like, no, it's blue, so it's okay because blue is for boys. Yeah, he was only 2.5, maybe 3. So we fought, and then finally I just gave up, like, fuck it, blue is for boys, keep your toes painted, I don't even care. Like, at this point, knock it out.
Right,
Well,
right.
when I told him the story about a year and a half ago, he repainted his toes blue and
Mm.
walked around for about a week and a half. Mind you, he's 6'1", almost 300 pounds, and plays football. And showed his football boys, and why did they all have on blue polish on their toes? And everybody had on a pair of slides one day out on the field, as all these boys have their toenails painted blue. I was done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just a different time. Like I said, like I give them credit because it's not even so much like the blurring of lines and all that that people get worried about. I just think it's the idea of self-expression and the
Mhm.
individuality and individualism that the kids are demonstrating now, which I think is remarkable and I think is important because the kids have to learn. Like the truth of the matter is that part of the reason why so many of us, not to get too political, but the whole reason why part of our situation is the way it is because through uniformity, it indoctrinates control by getting us all to act the same way, think the same way, and do the same thing. It's just another form of control. And for the kids to be able to express themselves, that's why, like I said, I'm impressed. My kids will wear a damn Halloween costume. They don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like they don't give a shit. And
Yeah.
and I respect that fact because they're expressing themselves. And it's not that, you know, I wouldn't necessarily not want to do it, but back I never would have felt comfortable enough in my own skin to do it. So I admire the fact that these kids now have it in them to be able to do that and express themselves. Like you said, a 6'1" football player walking around, don't give a shit. Toenails paint is for girls. And he's like, I don't care. Do what I want to do.
That part.
You know what I mean? So
And Daryl look at him crazy.
I respect that. Like, okay, well, if you got a problem with it, don't worry about it. It's not your toes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
Wait, and didn't have no problem sitting at the nail salon, sitting in the chair and getting a pedicure.
yeah. I have no, like, I admire, like, to be honest with you, there's a lot of stuff. I know as an older guy, I'm supposed to be mad at the kids because they ruining the world and all that. There's a lot of stuff that I admire about this generation. Frankly.
Yeah, like I told my daughter, and then I'll let, because I'm sure there's others waiting. I told my daughter, like, you guys are the information generation, and what I mean by that is you take information differently. Like, yes, you have Google and websites at your fingertip. So if there's something you want to find out, like, you don't got to go to the library and go look up the sources and on microfiche and try to find articles that match what you're looking for. You have all information right at your fingertips. But also, with that being said, like the Me Too movement, cancel culture, things of that nature, y'all information gets out quick and y'all act on it. Y'all not scared to boycott a certain business because you don't like their business practices. They're not paying their employees. You get what I'm saying? Like, I can remember maybe 2 protests all of high school. And one was just because the district wanted to fire the best teacher we ever had. And that was something we all band together to protest against it. The next one was we went on the freedom train because we all cut school on Martin Luther King Day back when it wasn't an official holiday, right? And so because it was like the whole BSU, so it was like 40 of us, we all got in trouble and we had to do in-campus suspension because we all cut. So yes, we protested and got the suspension canceled. So outside of those 2, I can't remember a time that we would protest for good, bad, or indifferent. These kids protested every drop of a dime. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying, like, you guys aren't scared to push against societal norms when you feel something's not right.
Right.
And I applaud the generation for it. Because I think a lot of my generation, we was kind of scared to do so. Not that, a lot of us wanted to get in trouble, especially with the law. These kids don't give a damn. If it's going against something that they strongly believe in, they gonna boycott, they gonna protest, they gonna cancel and keep it pushing. And I applaud them for that.
Well, because I think that too, they're a little more socially aware than previous generations for the most part. So they might not know all the ins and outs of every issue, but they do know that there are issues. Whereas before, that would have been a question. Like, do you even know that this is a problem? That this might be
right.
But they're aware of it. I'm not saying that they're the most well informed, but they are informed. The other thing about it too, because even speaking of like workplace stuff, some of them meet a lot of pushback from older people who will look at them and say, this generation is lazy. The truth of the matter is that if you really look at what they're saying, this generation doesn't do what generations prior to it does. Like generations prior, if I got a job somewhere working in a corporation, and I've even said this, I don't give a shit if I start working somewhere and I have an office, it's a corner office, big windows, the whole nine. That's my first assignment. If they come to me a week later and say, James, we're gonna put you in a broom closet, as long as they not talking about changing my money, I don't give a shit. I don't care what you say, right? Where you put me. This generation, they don't put up with a lot of the dumb shit. So when somebody come to them and say, hey, I'm gonna need you to, work, clock out and come back and keep working. This generation ain't doing that shit.
Nope.
And sad as it is to say, my generation, I could see a situation where a mother, he might think about it. I'm not saying they definitely would do it, but they would think about it. You understand what this generation? It ain't even up for play. Like, stop playing.
Right.
No. Hey, I'm gonna need
Well,
you to
but
cover this
also think
weekend.
about it though. I mean, you're not terribly older than I am, but your generation, once y'all found a good job, y'all would stay on that job until it was time to retire.
Right. Right.
As long as they didn't fire you, you was staying, right? Unless you found something better. That would be the only reason, or you relocated to another city and your job didn't go with you. These younger generation, I mean, my daughter's best friend had 9 jobs before she even graduated high school. I said, I don't even think I have 9 jobs on my resume. And I've had a resume since I was 16. Like,
Right.
make it make sense. Like, we're on for longevity. The minute something don't feel right to them, I'm out. Fuck that, I quit. Next.
Right.
So
It's
yeah,
just a
it's
different mindset.
definitely different.
And again, I understand like where they're coming from because we were taught like when we're younger, you're working and you're given a job. That job is an opportunity. You have to be thankful for that opportunity that they're giving you. Whereas this generation, they don't necessarily see it as much as an opportunity, as much as it is what it is, which is when you work for somebody, it's a relationship. It's a
Yeah.
relationship that goes both ways. It's you're not giving me shit. Let's be very clear about that. You're not giving me shit. In fact, I just had this conversation the other day. When you get paid just enough not to quit. That's what they pay you for. They don't pay you what you worth. They don't pay you what you bring in a company. They pay you just enough that you'll show up the next day. That's basically what they shooting for. So and if they can save a couple dollars or make some more money by letting you go, they will fire you this afternoon. But then at the same time, that same job will expect you to put in a 2-week notice before you leave.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's bullshit. Like I have to you the same loyalty you have to me, and this generation understands that. You know what I mean? It took me a little while to pick up on that, but that's the truth of it. Like I have as much loyalty to my employer as my employer have to me, which is pretty much none. They don't have no loyalty to me. You know what I mean? Oh, I need this job because I got to take care of my family. So they'll look you in the face and still hand you your papers because they're
That
assholes.
part.
You know what I mean? At Christmas time, they fire people at Christmas. What the fuck? Like what? Oh well, no notice and let you go on the holidays. Okay,
Right.
yeah, well, too bad, so sad. Sorry, it's business. But if I want to leave because I found a better job, and all of a sudden, oh, you got to give me 2 weeks. Oh no, you got to give me a month because we got to find somebody to replace your position. You got to download them how to do it. What? You would never give that to me. So why do you expect me to
Right.
give it to you?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I won't hold you. I just need to let off a little frustration, sister wives frustration.
No, I hear you. I hear
Um,
you. You don't
those
bottle that.
people irk me.
You know, what I mean, that's how
They
people
irk
get
me.
cussed out at
But
the crib.
again, nobody's holding a you know what to my head telling me I gotta watch them or I gotta pay attention. I'm doing that willingly. And of course, we all know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and wanting expecting different results.
Yep.
Every time I watch the show, I'm expecting different results and they ain't giving it to me. So you would think I'd stop watching the damn show.
Like you said, I just think I think I 100% agree with you when you said that like at this point I'm just in too deep. I
I mean,
mean, I would have
that's the
spent
only
too much
answer.
money.
I can't think
Too
of
much
nothing
money.
else.
Yeah.
Even when we try to veer off and talk about something else, somehow we always end up right back over here. It's like, the intoxicated boyfriend or girlfriend we try to dump, but for some reason we back together for the 17th time again.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
shit. I'm tired of telling my family we broke up because I'm only gonna bring him around on Saturday night game night, Sunday dinners. Like he back at the table. Like what happened?
right, right.
Yeah, I'm over it. But we definitely got to collectively come up with some other show that we can attach ourselves to that we can at least start talking about and shoo away from the others because TLC is they nickel and diamond me and I'm sick of giving them my money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm 100% on that board. Like I said, quiet as it's kept. I already gave up my my Sunday night preview thing that I had that I could watch the
Mhm.
Sunday show on Sunday. Yeah, I
Mhm.
canceled that shit. I was like, oh, I'm spending all this damn money. Like it
See.
ain't really nothing on this show. This shit I'm watching anyway. Like, well, we just have to figure it out. Not to mention, like I said, the show itself is dying.
Yeah.
It's not really, it kind of is what it is. It kind of is what it is.
Yeah. I'm over it. Like I'm ready for something new. But we shall see.
Yeah, we shall. We shall. We shall.
Well, you enjoy the rest of the live and I'll see you in the chat.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in, Karma Keys. Appreciate you.
No problem. Appreciate you too. Say it every week. Gonna continue to say it. Where you go, I go. So let's figure this out.
Yeah, right. We get it done. We get it done.
All righty.
All right. Talk to you. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. All right, Linda. Yeah, 6:00 comes quick. Yeah, I like I said, it's in case you guys haven't noticed, like I haven't really been covering a whole lot of Sister Wives recently, just because, like I said, I'm in a position now where if they want my attention, they want my eyes, they want my focus, they have to give me something to focus on. I'm no longer going to help shore up or build their narratives. I'm no longer going to help to propagate their show or advertise their show. I'm no longer just going to prop them up just because it's something to do. What I would need in order for me to continue doing Sister Wives, like I need some more information, data. So the reason why I did this particular show tonight was because I noticed that Mel and Corey, Christine, David, and I think I saw Growing Up Polygamy. I think they were there too in the photo that Mel provided, where they attended an event talking about supporting a group that's helping people leaving polygamy. So, and that's where I came up with the idea that, do the Brown family, does the Brown family owe more than just maybe showing up to events here and there? But do they owe some turnabout when it comes to their involvement with polygamy? So it's not enough for you just to say, hey, we're not doing it no more, but for them to actually come out and, you know, come out and say, like, this is not the right move. We weren't fair. We weren't honest. We weren't, this is not a good look or whatever. We did have a super chat come in from Tanya Carter, Mrs. Carter, with the $4.99 super chat. Said a percentage of their paycheck should be donated per episode to Holding Out Help. That's the organization that they were actually interviewing with or did the event for. For the polygamous propaganda, they've run over 15 years. And that's actually my point. Like, I think that, it's one thing if you are the victim of this type of institution, indoctrination, and you decided to leave and you never wanted to speak of it again. I think that your standard of responsibility is much lower, is much, much lower than somebody who gets on national television and again propagates this lifestyle, propagates the benefits of this lifestyle, encourages people to not only participate in it in a weird way, but you're also, by doing it and being popular and being liked, you're also running cover for a lot of the evils that are occurring within the institution. So when people say that this particular lifestyle is a bad thing, and you say no, it's not, they use the Brown family as an example and as an argument as to why this type of polygamy is distinctly different than that which was practiced by the FLDS and Warren Jeffs. You use the distinction that Warren Jeffs is actually a small minority of people who participate in this institution, and more people are more like the Browns, only to discover that even in the Brown situation, it was a toxic relationship. So therefore, if you propagated a toxic relationship as being healthy and being an alternative, then you have a responsibility to come back and say, guys, I was wrong. Guys, I did the wrong thing. Guys, you got the wrong impression. Guys, I made a mistake. I think that that's part of it. But that's why I asked folks to call in and give their perspectives on it, which I appreciate. But thank you so much, Tanya Carter. Let me give you a little something, something. Appreciate you. Sorry I didn't get to it earlier. All right. So that's where we are. That's where we are. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me last minute, 3.5 hours. Appreciate you guys still sticking in there with me. We'll be doing some additional content tomorrow. We only have a few speak pipes, so if you guys want to call in, leave some speak pipe messages, feel free to do so. We don't have a lot going on. But in addition to the speak pipe, I'll also be dropping some additional content during that live tomorrow. All right. Let's see. Carmel Cuties. Carmel Cuties with a $10 super chat. Said, I am needing Christine to fully apologize to her aunt Kristen Decker, who also helps the organization Holding Out Help. Why help when you still believe in polygamy? It's giving fake as fuck to me, honestly. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I need clarity. I would like clarity. And part of the reason why I say that this explanation is due and owing to the audience members and fans of the show is because so many people, I like, even in being a content creator and making comments about the OG3 and Christine and everybody, anytime you make a comment about any of these people, especially the OG3, or for whatever reason, OG13, there's always people who defend them, go to the mat for them, talking about them, etc., etc. And because you have people who are so dedicated to you and so faithful to you, I think it behooves Christine to be very clear about what it is she believes and where she is and how she's moving forward. And especially when you and I understand where people were saying that you have to understand the levels of abuse they went through. At the same time, when you start asking people to pay you and you're going to receive compensation for that experience and your takeaway from that experience, I think that you're acknowledging that you have enough information, enough knowledge, and enough healing to where if you could charge somebody, then you could take responsibility for what it is you did or didn't do, or what your belief system you had, or whatever you supported. And I think that that's where I am with this. But I would love to see, like, if they were going to do anything, bring Kristen Decker back on, so that way she can talk about her struggles. She could share with people what it is this organization is doing and how it's helping. And I think that that's kind of the thing. Maybe they filmed it. Maybe we'll see Mel and Corey on and Growing Up Polygamy on Sister Wives this upcoming season. Who knows, right? But I kind of guess they didn't. So we shall see. But let me give Carmel Cuties a little something, something. Then we had Ty with the $4.99 super chat. Blessing your game, paying my tithes and all. Thank you so much, Ty. I appreciate it. You see me working hard, move my feet as fast as I can. Thank you, Ty. I appreciate you. All right. Let me give a shout out to everybody who contributed to the show tonight. We had 1 second. Of course, we had Ty, we had Carmel Cuties, we had Tanya Kata, Mrs. Kata, and we had Brittany Not Brittany, as well as Darlene Hall with the membership gift. Thank you so much. I want to give a huge shout out to the Mega Mod Squad, Lizzie B, Carmel Cuties, and Brittany Not Brittany, as well as everybody in the chat. Let me give you all a little something, something. And per usual, I want to make sure I give a quick note to what I like to call the section hearts in the chat. Let's get some hearts in the chat to support people who may just need that support, that extra hand up, that extra hand out, that extra pat on the back, that extra congratulatory salute, or that hug. Like, let's give each other virtual hugs by supporting people who may feel like they need to be supported. Some people don't feel comfortable sharing their stories or asking for help or putting their name for it, which is fine. Let's just get some hearts in the chats for those individuals. I also want to put hearts in the chats for members and subscribers and people who tune to the channel, participants of the channel, who may have experienced some tough times, challenges this year, but we want to give them support. Of that group, we have Jody Periscala, Carmel Cuties, Megatron, Miss Betty, Kathy Ferran, Allison Gaines, Marlo Peterson, and Team, and Ty. Thank you guys so much for supporting them. And I'm going to throw some hearts in the chat too. Hold on 1 second. I got to do my part. Can I do my part? 1 second. There we go. All right. Throw me some hearts up in the chat as well. Yeah, because I think that's important. Is Karma Cutie constantly reminds us, make sure you check on your strong friends, the people, friends and relatives who you think, oh, they got it all figured out. They ain't got no problems. They just know everything. These are the people that I rely on. Sometimes the people you rely on the most are the people who may need your help the most. Because the ironic part of it is that when you're a person who people may come to you and look to you for guidance or advice or support, everybody is so pressed in thinking that they have it all figured out that they never really address or look at them as somebody who also experiences life the same way you do. They have problems too. They have issues as well. They're going through things. And sometimes they just need somebody to say, hey, I see you. And I think that that's part of it too, is that, when you're a stronger person or you're kind of that support system for other people, people overlook the fact that you too need to be recognized, that you're going to be going through some things, and how nice it is for somebody just to say, hey man, I noticed that you're going through this thing. Like you maybe, lost a step, or you seem kind of down, or you might look like you might have some things on your mind. Is there anything you want to talk about? They might look at you and say, because that's not the normal position they play and they're not used to playing that position, they may look at you and say, no, I'm fine. No, it's okay. No, I don't have no problems. And then they go out to their car and cry in the car, or go to the bathroom and be hollering their ass off. But you got to be able to, sometimes you just got to be able to see them for them and the issues that they're going through, and be able to recognize that they're going through issues. And if necessary, be able to step in and just be there for them. I'm not saying you got to come in and solve people's problems, but sometimes it's just a matter of sitting down, holding somebody's hand, having a conversation with them, listening to them as they describe what they're going through, and not trying to solve anything, just listening to them and letting them air it out, get it off their chest, because that does more for them. And you saying basically, I see you, than for them to feel like they are an invisible entity. Right? So let's always keep in mind that we got to take care of those people who are taking care of us, those strong friends who, may not be all right. And that's another message that I would just say real quick, that at the end of the day, folks, no matter what you've heard or what people have told you, it's okay to not be okay. And that's one of the things that, like, my strong friends, they got to recognize, because they're quick to give advice. It's okay not to be okay, but they're the last ones to tell you that they're not okay. Because they feel like they got to be strong for everybody else. But this is the crazy thing is that in this human experience of life, everybody is going to experience the full rainbow in all the colors of this experience, the happies, the sads, the depression, all of it. So it's not a source of strength for you to struggle through things alone. It's not a source of strength for you to hide or covet these things or conceal these things from people who may be able to help you and support you. We're all in this together. And I think that you guys have demonstrated that, and I appreciate you putting the hearts in the chat. But yeah. Carmel Cuties left a message, said, checking on your strong friends, family. They may not be okay. Yeah. Because it's rough, especially if you find yourself, a situation where you talk to somebody on 1 week and then the next week you find out something happened to them and I had no idea. Sometimes you just got to take a moment and just look. But again, it's not about solving people's problems, because let's be honest, sometimes people got shit going on. You can't solve their problems, and they're not even expecting you to. But it's just, like I said, you if you are living in life where you don't feel like you're being seen, it's a painful situation. So one of the more generous things that we can do for each other is to let each other know that I see you, I see your problems, I see your issues, and I acknowledge that you're going through these things. Just a simple acknowledgement. You're not crazy. That's why part of the reason why I started the Lives with Sister Wives, because I think a lot of people, the show isn't popular enough to where everybody would talk about it or know about it. And the people who do watch it, they would be going crazy because they don't have that positive affirmation that, no, you're not crazy. These people are insane. This is a completely ridiculous situation. So that's part of the reason why I started the lives or whatever. But thank you so much, Carmel Kitty. I appreciate it. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's this? Carmen Q said, a listening ear, a good laugh, hell, a shoulder to cry on always helps. Tell them they are valid helps. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, just that connection. Like because when you're going through things, one of the biggest things that happens is you feel like you're losing connection, and people, one of the powers of community is that it keeps us tied down and it keeps us grounded. So yeah, take care of the people who take care of you. I call them the kickstands. Make sure you take care of your kickstands. Because nobody ever said, that kickstand is nice. That kickstand is sweet. Sweet ass kickstand. That kickstand is dope. I mean, the handlebars, the color, yeah, that's all right. But that kickstand, boy, is strong. Like, nobody gives a shit about the kickstand until the kickstand ain't there and stops working. All right. But make sure you take care of your kickstands. All right, guys, that's my take. I'm James. I want to thank everybody who tuned in, hung out this long. Make sure you hit the like button. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been my take on reality. And I'm
like I